There's still got to be a World War III. There's still got to be a Gog and Magog. There's got to be Mashiach ben Yosef, ben David, resurrection of the dead, right? A lot of things have to take place. We're almost there.
One thing we do know, that it's written in a book of Zechariah, the Navi Zechariah, chapter 14. It describes how the world will come to an end. And over there, it leaves no doubt that it's talking about a nuclear war. Because it's written that in few minutes, 2/3 of the people in the world will die, which is more than 5 billion people. The Gaon Vilna say it will take 12 minutes.
That if you take the words Gog and Magog in Hebrew, and you take the gematria, the numerical value of letters, you come up with 70. What does that mean? Chazal teach us that altogether there are 70 nations besides the Jewish people that exist in the world, Shivim Goyim, and all of them are going to come against the Jewish people.
So we have a tradition from the Vilna Gaon. So this is going to be the war. The war is going to be involved with the whole war. How long is it going to last? The Vilna Gaon says it's going to last 12 minutes.
You're also familiar with the prophecy in Zechariah 14. This will be the plague with which God will smite all the nations that war against her. Their flesh will rot even as they stand on their feet. Their eyes will melt in their sockets and their tongues will rot in their mouths.
We know that the war of Armageddon, it's part, Rabotai, of the pain birth of the coming of the Mashiach.
What's going to happen with non-Jewish people when Mashiach comes? Well, the prophet already says that part of the end is going to be that 2/3 of the world will be destroyed, meaning 2/3 of the population, and then the 1/3 that's left, only part of it will survive.
The war of Gog Magog is the last war. It's a final war. Not everyone will survive. And as I said earlier, of the entire world's population, 2/3 will disappear. And when we say that, we mean everyone, even amongst us.
So it says there's going to be a huge, huge war, and 2/3 of the world is going to die, and then there's going to be a Yeshua. And there's going to, after 2/3 of the world is going to die, so then it's going to be just be goodness.
They will be destroyed. That means those who are part of the effort to destroy the Jews and Yerushalayim will be completely destroyed. We see Zechariah 8, Zechariah 12. It's only those who repent who will be saved, but there'll be a tremendous destruction.
I think World War III has already begun. The question is, Vladimir, will it become nuclear?
Of course, it has to become nuclear. So America will try to use Israel's nuclear weapon, as I see it, against Iran. China will say we don't like that. But Russians, we calculated this ability. That's why Putin said, okay, guys, you want to play it tough? That's why we have our supersonic missiles all the way up on our jets in the Black Sea. We can destroy whatever aircraft carrier you have in the Mediterranean.
No trip to Moscow is complete without a dance with the chief rabbi in the historic Marina Russia shul.
We have a tradition when we come to visit Moscow, the chief rabbi gives us gifts here, wonderful books.
The Vilna Gaon from 300 years ago has a tradition that actually Gog and Magog could well be Russian. That there's going to be a war which will involve the Russians at the end of days. And the Russians are gang up together with Paras, Cush, and Put. Paras, says the prophet Ezekiel, he refers to Paras, Cush, and Put, could well be actually Persia. Paras is Persia, which is modern-day Iran.
Our generation is not far from the generation of Noah. So Hashem is going to come and do a reset. Very simple. What does that reset mean? to eject the evil out of the world, to leave whoever's not. At the time of Noah, he decided to leave 8 people. Now, I don't know how many people Hashem will decide to leave. It can be 1,000, can be 10,000, can be 1,000,000, can be 5,000,000, I don't know.
The United States used precision bombing. That's exactly what Israel does, because Israel is like the United States. We are a moral nation, which is why so many hundreds of soldiers. Remember, every time Israel loses 1 soldier, that's the United States losing 35 soldiers.
Fire edit from John Garatis, new fire edit. What's up, guys? Adam Green here with No More News. Thank you for joining me. Huge show today, so much to cover. Monday, March 16th, 2026. Gonna get into some of the latest conspiracy du jours. Twilight Zone, stupid internet conspiracy, Antichrist, fear-mongering, Tom McDonald video, Kerry on Tucker, the latest with Trump and the Iran war, latest stupid BBAI death hoax, disinfo. Gonna get into it all. Gonna turn on the Power Chat right now, powerchat.live/nomore-news, where your comment will be read. Link live on the show will be read. Live on Rumble and Odysee. It's in the live chat. It's in the description below. Every dollar helps. Can't do it without you. Okay, so much to cover. Let's get into it. Such a good new edit from John. And of course, it only has 45 likes.
Still got to be a World War III.
But I did have a big viral video over the weekend. The hard work paid off. Look at this. 11,000 likes, 700,000 views. 30-second clip asking drunk girls why Trump bombed Iran. I knew this one was going to do well online when I saw it and got their reaction. I went down to the beach, like bar beach scene. It was St. Patrick's Day weekend, so everybody was out there. There was tons of young 20 and 30-year-olds drunk everywhere. I got tons of interviews, many more I'm going to be posting throughout the week. Check this one. Did Trump bomb Iran to cover for the Epstein files?
Yes! Everyone knows what Trump did. 100%. He's a pedophile rapist. Yeah, it's exposed. So he did do it to cover up that. Admit it. Are we still talking about the Epstein files? Because it is a cover up. Who's like? No one's forgetting about the Epstein files.
So who did Epstein work for, you think?
Fuck. I don't fucking know.
Israel! Sorry.
Israel!
You think we're bombing Iran for Israel too?
Yeah.
Do you think Satanists... All right, you can watch part 2 also. It's a little longer, the extended version there. It gets better. I go, do Satanists run the world? And they say, no, that's a cop-out. It's just like the regular religions. And I'm like, yes, exactly. Exactly. Might as well just watch it. You guys want to watch it, right? You're not all on Twitter seeing this. Run the world. Here's the part 2.
What? Yeah.
Do you think Satanists run the world?
No. What? No. What? I think that's a cop-out. That's a cop-out. I think creepy fucking pedophile men run the country and the world.
That part.
So maybe let's start.
Pedophiles worship him is the point. So, yeah.
I think they're like feminists. They came off like feminist. They said they didn't want to have children.
But I don't think how they should be punished. I don't think that's not giving them more distracting question. I mean, it's crazy because like imagine having the death penalty and killing people who didn't even do anything, but then leaving pedophiles alone. Exactly. Crazy. Exactly.
You think that they're eating babies in the Epstein files?
Yeah. Yes. 100%. Yeah, they are. There's so much evidence, like you can't even say no. Like.
So is that like satanic rituals then? Beef jerky.
I don't know enough about why they're doing it. Like. They're just like fucking weird and crazy. And they're doing shit to do shit, and I don't know the reasoning behind it. Yeah. I mean, they could call it that. But no, because I feel like people like him try to claim that the people who don't follow him are satanic. When it's like, yo, look at yourself in the mirror. No, but a lot of them are Catholic. A lot of them follow many mainstream religions. They claim to. But you can call it Satanism when it's just mainstream religious, like.
You could call it Satanism when it's just mainstream religion. See, this is not a hard sell. Anybody that's not brainwashed by the Jewish fairy tales, they recognize and observe this. That is the actual institutional power structure, not these secret Satanists. That's the scapegoat of the Abrahamic religions. And these girls actually understood that.
I don't know.
It's just the Abrahamic religions, Christians,
Yeah, all
Muslims,
of them.
Jews. That's who's in power, right?
Yeah, they all don't protect children. That's what it is. Yeah, we need to protect the children. Because how do you want women to have more babies when we're not having
children
babies
aren't protected.
if this shit is
I
not
want you
getting
guys to have
punished?
lots of babies.
No,
Never.
I'm not ever having a baby.
Not in this state of the world.
I think that
No?
we should want to do what we want to do. I don't think anyone should wish anything upon us. I think we should be able to live whatever we want.
Well, I have 2 little girls, and they're the best thing in my life. So
Well, that's
why-
amazing.
Feminist gets mad and goes, "Don't tell us that you want us to have children."
That's
I know
great.
that you
about the
appreciate your
Epstein
baby
stuff,
mama and treat her right and give
but
her
now that
everything
this
and
stuff
more.
is
I love how they're both talking at the same time over each other the whole time. It's so funny. They both really, really wanted to talk to me, apparently.
very easily accessible information, it changes our minds about things. So start punishing the
educated.
terrible
Like
men that
having,
want us
I'm gonna have children. Just be educated on it.
Yeah.
You believe all this?
I expose religion and politics, the Abrahamic
You
religions.
think we're valid, right?
Jesus is a myth
He
that they
thinks
made
we're
up to
valid.
conquer the
He
world.
does.
You girls got it all. You nailed it all.
Yeah!
I don't know about all, actually. I meant the religious part. That's what you talked about right before this. Now he's a myth. Completely
No,
mythical.
he was a real.
All right. We got to get into the news. We can't play this whole thing. You guys go watch it on the Twitter or hang tight for the edits and for me to get the rest of them. It's also on my TikTok and my Instagram. If you're not following, follow over there. You can find all the links below in the description or
Anonymous sent $10
on my website. Thank you, Anonymous.
Can't believe I just found few months back on YouTube recommended. You helped me so much, man. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you to the fan page on YouTube that's posting all the clips and shorts and all the shows and all the old stuff, reaching new people on YouTube. We're about to hit 5,000. Finally, it's been a slow ride to 5,000 on the fan page YouTube channel. All right. I always forget this every single time. I got to bookmark all my things here. Bookmark all tabs. BB Ring. Dude, Ringgate. We got Coffee Foam Gate. We got Ringgate. We've got Flat Earth tier, total kookery conspiracies, distracting everybody from what's really going on. And it's absolutely disgraceful. But we'll get there in a second. And I got a bunch more interviews, good ones too, about to come out. I just got to get them edited. All right. Here's Trump's latest from over the weekend. This was Friday, I believe. Moments ago, at my direction, the United States Central Command executed one of the most powerful bombing raids in the history of the Middle East and totally obliterated every military target in Iran's crown jewel, Karg Island. Iran has no ability to defend anything we want to attack. There's nothing they can do about it. I was talking with Big Tech last night about this, and I think he's totally right, and they're basically admitting this, is that Elon and the technocrats got their AI systems in with the government, but especially in with the military. So they're using all of this AI to do these military attacks and strategize and plan out what's going on. And it's like AI domination means complete military domination as well. Okay, that's basically the whole thing there. Good summary. Here they are on Fox News talking about it. He almost blew the cover of the plan.
So the year was 19.
Hold on.
So the year was 1988. This future president, Donald Trump, was selling a book called The Art of the Deal. He gave an interview to a British newspaper, at which time you talked about Iran. You said we have to win back respect for America on the world stage, and you had stern words for the Islamic Republic. You said they've been beating us up psychologically, making us look like a bunch of fools. One bullet shot of one of our men or ships, I'd do a number on Karg Island. I'd go in and I'd take it. Now here in 2026, you are president. Are you thinking about taking Karg Island, where 90% of the Iranian oil goes through? And what do you think about
This is before they did it a few days.
Remember that interview and that school of thought.
Yeah, but Brian, I can't answer a question like that. You shouldn't ask it. You shouldn't be even asking it. It's one of so many different things. It's not high on the list, but it's one of so many different things, and I can change my mind.
Not really.
You know, for you
maybe not.
who would answer a question like that? I mean,
Yeah, what a stupid question.
Carg Island, okay, everything. Who would ask a question like that? And
yeah, he's gonna be like, yeah, we're planning on hitting it in a few days. Actually, I'm glad you asked. Like, what a stupid question.
Who would answer it? Okay, let's say I was going to do it, or let's say I wasn't going to do it. What would I tell you? Oh, yes, Brian, I'm thinking about doing it. Let me let you know what time and when it'll take place. It's not, it's sort of a foolish question.
Boleslaw.
This Soloviv guy, who calls to nuke the West every other Sunday on his podcast. He was a president of some major Jewish org in Russia and he got a medal from Putin. He also wrote a book where he said Jesus was theirs.
Jesus was theirs? Yeah, that guy is clearly an enemy of America that Jones loves to have on his show so much, like Dugin and these other Russian Vatnik plants.
It's surprising for you because you're a smart man.
I am, but you were just pretty amazing that you thought about it in 1988.
Oh, he said it in 1988. He's like, oh, I thought you were going to be so impressed with my research. I thought we were going to plan on bombing it together. He just got scolded like a little bitch. Iran had plans of taking over the entire Middle East and completely obliterating Israel. Just like Iran itself, those plans are now dead. President Donald J. Trump, we don't know who's tweeting this.
Vote Animus sent $5 on Rumble. Yo, yo, yo.
Yo, yo, yo. Should I add my name at the end of every tweet I do? Or I could be like that Asian dude and be like, highest IQ in the world says, as the highest IQ person in the world, I say Jesus Christ is king and will return.
Very simple.
Unconditional surrender. It's all we ask for.
Unconditional surrender, and what does that mean? Well, to me it means very simply that we are in a position of dominance that nobody's ever seen before. And whether or not they're able to say the words or whether or not they're able to even fight. Their Navy is gone, their Air Force is gone, most of their military is gone, their big threat is gone in every way. They have no radar, they have no anti-aircraft weapons, for the most part weapons, and for indefinitely they have no way of determining what they call visibility. So just about everything is gone, and you'll see that. But today we've had some very, very big hits, very powerful hits.
I saw he also called him a paper tiger recently. Oh, look, here, I forgot to play this too. Here was another one. I tried going live, and it only worked for 5 minutes. I guess I got to figure out a new live streaming app or something, but this was another girl. Yes or no? Do you think Satanists run the world?
Has run the world?
Satanists.
Satanists run the world?
Yeah, do you think so?
I mean, Donald Trump is president, so yeah, kind of.
You think he's a Satanist, not a Christian?
No, I think that Satan is a lot better than Donald Trump.
Do you think Trump bombed Iran to distract from the Epstein files?
Yes, 100%. And I will tell you, I have a master's in public policy, so yes, I do say that.
You think that's why?
Yes, I do. I think
credibility, folks. Argument from authority. She has a degree, so she knows that's the truth. I don't even necessarily agree with this at all. I think that I don't think that the war in Iran is a distraction from the Epstein files. I think the kooky stuff surrounding the Epstein files was a distraction of the run up to the Iran war, which has been a long-term Zionist plan. She says it, bro. You're listening. Do you think Trump bombed Iran to distract from the Epstein files?
Yes, 100%. And I will tell you, I have a master's in public policy, so yes, I do say that.
You think that's why?
Yes, I do. I think he's distracting from the Epstein files.
Do you think we're bombing them because of Israel?
I mean, what do you mean because of Israel? Obviously, we're kind of in partnering with Israel, I'll say Donald Trump has no idea what he's doing, and he's distracting from the Epstein files. And it's a shit show, and I'm not proud to be American right now.
Well, that's true. Yes or no? Do you think Satan? Certainly a shit show.
Has run the world.
Satanist. Shout out to Amalek for clipping that for me from the live. Israel would have been obliterated if we didn't bomb them. I'm the savior of Israel. God saved my life from assassination so I could save the Jews. and be your Messiah and save the world from World War III. The Prince of Peace, as the rabbis say. The Avraham Accords, as the rabbis say. Pretty big deal. Greatest Zionist president of all time.
If I didn't terminate the Obama horrible deal, the Iran nuclear deal it's called, if I didn't terminate that in my first term, they would have already had a nuclear weapon and they would have used it immediately upon getting it. And if I didn't send in the B-2 bombers to bomb the hell out of it and obliterate, and that's what it was, we obliterated that site and stopped all their potential nuclear. If I didn't do that, you would have had Israel and the Middle East hit by nuclear weapons. And we wouldn't be talking about this right now.
You know, that's assuming that the Iranians want to get nuked themselves. They want to be blown off the map. If they did that out of nowhere, what would the rest of the world do to you? Trump wouldn't be having to try to scold England and NATO that they need to join in on the attack if that had happened. So it's funny that Netanyahu has been saying this line for 40 years. They're 2 weeks away from getting the bomb and nuking everybody. But Trump was the first one to finally go along with that bullshit.
What I did in terminating the Iran nuclear deal, and what I did in sending in the B-2 bombers, it was one of the most incredible attacks anyone's ever seen. Late at night, dark, no moon, and every single...
No moon, total darkness, no moon.
Bomb went right down those chutes and blew the whole place apart. If I didn't do that, you would have had nuclear warfare in the Middle East, and I think Israel would have been obliterated. I think lots of the Middle East would have been. And you
also warned that if the conflict escalates.
Did Trump accidentally admit that Iran has nuclear weapons? Yeah, I've been trying to tell people all along Putin's a Zionist and he's allies with Chabad and Netanyahu, and everybody wants to say, no, he's backing Assad, he's backing Iran. How'd that turn out? Where's that backing now? Now, actually, Putin says, oh, actually, there's a lot of Jews. Sorry, there's a lot of Russian-speaking Russian Jews in Israel, so he's not going to be helping Iran.
He also warned that if the conflict escalates, Israel may contemplate the use of a nuclear weapon. Has he shared that assessment with you?
No, yes. And Israel wouldn't do that. Israel would never do that. And, there's a theory. You pounded them to hell, and you could just leave now, and it'll take 10 years for them to build back not nearly what they have right now. And I guess that's another theory, but we want...
He also warned that if the conflict escalates, Israel may contemplate the use of a nuclear weapon. Has he shared that assessment with you?
No, yes. And Israel wouldn't do that. Israel would never do that. And
Israel would never use a nuke? Yeah, they would. Have you not heard of the Samson option? Have you not heard them threaten? Maybe they haven't threatened. They pretend they don't have them. He didn't really reveal, though, that they have them. He just goes like, even if they did, they would not do that. They're God's chosen people. They would never nuke anybody. They bring light to the nations, not nukes. Exaggeration. And also, everybody knows that they have nukes. So, big deal.
Let Iran, who's truly the weapon, because...
They're the most moral army in the world. They'd never nuke somebody first.
A weapon. Because the Middle East will be gone. Israel will go first, without question. And they'll certainly take a shot at us before we get our act together and say we got to take them out. You can't let Iran, who's truly a nation of great terror and power, a weapon. Because the Middle East will be gone. Israel will go first, without question.
How's your relationship with Bibi now, Trump?
What's Israel doing to help secure the Strait of Hormuz?
They're working with us. The relationship with Israel, that was other fake news. They were saying, oh, did I have an argument with Bibi? No, we really get along well. And he would...
Fake news. Remember Ian Carroll on Joe Rogan saying he thinks Trump is running a coup against Netanyahu? Remember all the disinfo shills out there pushing that Trump is going to abandon Bibi and it's all over and he's betraying him. And, oh, they were pushing that so hard. Trump turns on Bibi. Look at the body language. Oh, Bibi didn't know Trump was going to take Gaza. He's not happy. Remember all that shit? All the people that were wrong about that, they all shilled for Trump to get into power. They went along with the Trump is going to save us from World War III bullshit and turn on Netanyahu. And now they're the ones still pushing all the slop. All these Russia faction networks pushing the Charlie Kirk slop, the Epstein slop, now the Bibi death hoax slop. They all push the Trump peace candidate slop. And the QAnon slop. And the cannibals and the beef jerky slop. And the end times kosher Christian anti-Semitism and Christian Muslim alliance. Controlled slopposition.
And he would tell you we're leading the whole thing. And I don't, they can say it or not say it, it doesn't matter. The main thing is to get it done. But my relationship with Bibi Netanyahu is, I would say, extraordinary, actually.
Extraordinary. Greatest friends of all time. Extraordinary friends. He's a real war hero. Greatest leader Israel's ever had, and I'm the greatest president that Israel's ever had.
Extraordinary, actually.
What's Israel?
Extraordinary. Here he is complaining about Iranian AI. Let's see this.
Oh, one other thing that was AI generated. They showed about 250,000 people in a square saying how much they love Khomeini. Totally AI generated. It never took place. The media knew it didn't take place, but they built it up like they have great support. They don't have support. And that whole rally that they had 4 days ago, that they said was fake. It was AI generated. AI can be very dangerous. We have to be very careful with it. But the rally, because I was actually surprised to see, because I know how much the people hate this leadership. This leadership has destroyed the country. The rally that everybody, including ABC Fake News, your network is the worst. But everybody put that rally on. Like, oh, and even I was surprised. I looked.
Like,
It turned out, I found out today, it was a totally AI-generated fake news story put out by news organizations in the U.S. and elsewhere. And honestly, they really shouldn't be allowed to do it.
Shouldn't be allowed to. Their X was banning a lot of the accounts pushing all the AI war footage. And there was a ton of it. It's crazy how these usual suspects are sharing all this fake stuff, and they're saying, oh, Khomeini martyred himself, and Iran's going to win, and Bibi's dead, they're all dead, they're losing, it's like all a big cover-up. It's like, if none of that is happening, you're just lying. Like, you think lying online and like making up AI shit is going to like help you win in the real world? It's just like covering up that you're losing. It's just cope. So, and just nobody knows what to think now. Now everybody's going to be spurging out looking for AI, everything nonstop, and seeing a little anomaly glitch in some low quality pixelation make a big deal out of everything, like total autists.
Yeah, right here. You have said that the U.S. military has essentially aerial superiority, naval superiority over Iran, yet we're not escorting ships through the Strait of Hormuz. Why? How did you not plan for this?
We planned for it. We recognize it. Because ultimately we want to do it sequentially in a way that makes the most sense for what we want to achieve and ensure that we're sending the right signals to the world when we do so. So when Chris Wright speaks or we speak, it's based on a full assessment of what we're up against, what we want to say to the world, how that we want them to see and understand the conflict. It's like this whole idea of the war widening. That's what the press wants to make it look like it's widening and chaos is ensuing. No, we're actually closing in on, grabbing hold of, and controlling what objectives we want to achieve and how we want to achieve them. It's called shaping operations and setting the conditions. But when you shape the environment, you don't always tell. I mean, foolish political leaders and foolish military leaders of the past will hang an exact deadline on it. Or here's exactly when we'll do what we're going to do. Or here's how long it's going to take us. And then if you meet that, maybe you meet it. But if you don't, you fail. And if you're far beyond, we know exactly what we're shaping and why. We're sending those signals working across the interagency. The Strait of Hormuz is something we've paid attention to from the beginning. And the American people can rest assured we will ensure that our interests are advanced, no doubt. The Stars and Stripes up. The IRGC and Iranian regime sees only two things on the side of aircraft: the Stars and Stripes and the Star of David. Up.
Oh, how poetic. Stars and Stripes and the Stars of David.
Stuff. You guys were very generous in that, just like I knew about the Strait, that it would be a weapon, which I predicted a long time ago, predicted all of this stuff. You guys.
Wow, what a prophet. Dude, Trump predicted that they would use the Strait of Hormuz and leverage it in a war if you attacked them. What a military genius. What a crazy thing to brag about. I totally knew that they would try to shut down the Strait of Hormuz. I predicted it. I'm basically a prophet. Top military analyst. I don't want to toot my own horn, but I kind of predicted it. As if they haven't threatened it.
Be a weapon, which I predicted a long time ago.
Everyone knew that.
You guys were very generous in that. I predicted all of it. I predicted
it all.
Osama bin Laden would knock out the World Trade Center. I made that prediction a year before he did it. I said, you better get him. He's a bad guy. I watched him.
Prediction or foreknowledge? Ask yourself, Goyim, prediction or foreknowledge?
Interviewed one time, and I said, that's a bad guy. You better get him. 1 year before exactly, I wrote it in a book. You can even check about a year.
I wrote it in a book. Remember Netanyahu said the same thing? Funny, Netanyahu and Trump both predict, and Alex Jones and Bill Cooper all predicted 9/11. Netanyahu, Trump, and Alex Jones predicted 9/11. Interesting. I wrote it in a book that the Muslims would attack the World Trade Center. Remember Netanyahu said that on Glenn Beck in Fox News?
Before the World Trade Center.
Somebody's got to do an edit of the both of them saying, I wrote it in a book.
You can even check about a year before the World Trade Center came down. President Clinton actually had a shot at him, and he didn't take it. Unfortunately, I'm not blaming him for that, but he didn't take it. And he ended up knocking down the World Trade Center, but I predicted that too. I predicted a lot of things. We strong, just like I knew.
I predicted it all. Dude, imagine trying to toot your own horn that they would shut down the Strait of Hormuz. Like that's some, prediction to boast about. Unbelievable. All the MAGA people are all impressed, like, he's a prophet. He's just like Moses. He's just like Joseph. He's like a prophet predicting all the prophecy futures.
There we have zero. We don't need oil. We have all the oil we need for us.
Remember Tucker Carlson called Alex Jones a prophet, too, for the 9/11 thing.
Zero. We don't need oil. We have all the oil we need for ourselves. It's one of the great assets that we have. We have more than double what anybody else in terms of oil production. We're at more than double any other country. So we don't need it, but we did it. It's almost, you could say we did it out of habit, which is not a good thing to do. But we did it because we have some good allies there. We have some great Middle Eastern countries there, Israel there. So we did it for a lot of reasons. But zero.
Did it for Israel?
We don't need oil.
A lot of reasons. It wasn't just Israel, ladies and gentlemen. They don't run me.
If we do, that's great. And if we don't, that's great too. But remember, like as an example, in many cases, we are talking to other countries about working with us on the policing of the strait. And I think we get
escorting ships through the strait.
If we do, that's great. And if we don't, that's great too. But remember,
in many cases, they're NATO countries. We're always there for NATO. We're helping them with Ukraine. As many, it's got an ocean in between us. It doesn't affect us, but we've helped them. It'd be interesting to see what country wouldn't help us with a very small endeavor, which is just keeping the Strait open. That, by comparison, is a small. It's small because Iran has very little firepower left. Their missiles are down to a low number. You see, they're shooting very few of them. You know why? Because they don't have very many of them, and because we've decimated their manufacturing capability. Likewise, the drones are way down. They're down to about 20% of what they had. Still have some, and they're pretty tough. But the drones are down, and we're starting hitting. As of yesterday, we're hitting places where they manufacture the drones. We think most of which we know where they are. So it's a very strong military operation, just as it was in Venezuela.
Very small military operation, but they took it all out. Okay, now let's get into the kooky conspiracies. Latest one today now is the Ring Gate, the supposed disappearing ring. We got Shadow of Ezra, big account, 800,000 followers. Who knows running that? Another one, Lord Bebo, 800,000 followers. All these new Anon accounts. Hold on. We got Duganist Russian agent Jackson Hinkle says another AI fake video of Netanyahu. So now that they claim one video is fake, every other video of him from now on, they're just going to say that's a mask, that's a body double, that's AI. How long are they going to keep this LARP going in Cooksville? If they killed Netanyahu, they would hype him up as a martyr, and they would use it to garner sympathy so that we completely flatten Iran more than we already have. That's what would happen. You think they're going to cover it up forever like Weekend at BB's? No. They would mourn him. They would call him Moshiach ben Joseph. They would put another leader in that's even more hardcore. It's just the whole premise of it is so stupid. So look at this. The things that they're sharing around on for evidence, too, like the supposed 6 fingers fake, debunked that last episode. You got the foam in the coffee not spilling over, like these idiots don't know how surface tension and foam on a latte works. Complete retardation. All the people that push all the other slop, all the same usual suspects, all also pushing this retardation. It's either just clickbait, engagement farmer, conspiratainment grifters, or something more nefarious.
Yes.
So you can see a ring at one angle, reaches his hand up at a different angle. What? And then the ring's visible. So the ring gets a little harder to see when he changes his hand and the light's not reflecting off the same section of the ring as it was. It blends in with his finger a little bit for a second. And this is the type of thing they're all running with. Viral. That one doesn't have a lot. 5,000 likes on this one. Jackson Hinkles has 22,000. The Savior, he's another Putin stan account. It's always peddling disinfo. Who is this person? It's Netanyahu. What do you mean? It looks just like Netanyahu. Oh, it's a mask. It's fake. You're so retarded. So low quality, too. Yeah, you can't see the light reflecting when it's at this angle when you're only seeing the little side of it. The side of the ring. You can see it the whole time. It's right there. You think the ring just disappeared for a split second on a slowed down video? It didn't show up on the pixelation. The light didn't reflect into the camera. And then it appears again right in the same spot perfectly.
I
always wonder how dumb this goyim sometimes can be.
5,000 likes. It's all people will say, "Oh, you just say everything's a Russian." How come it's all the same pro-Russia voices and influencers that are doing all these same kosher disinfo psyops and complete distraction and confusing everybody and keeping everything retarded and kosher? So they're saying this is all fake and AI.
תודה רבה.
תודה,
איזה אלופים, תודה רבה.
תודה לכם. טוב, קצת לספוג שמש.
This type of like flat earth retardation where they're just like pausing everything and trying to look at every little thing. Look, that looks a little weird. Look at that grass. Look at that cloud. It's a copy of the cloud. Like schizo shit.
טוב, גם לא מגיע קצת.
Completely unserious.
לכולכם מגיע.
Well, they're taking over the world.
ירושלים, יש משהו יותר יפה מזה?
People are online spurging out about disappearing rings.
תשמע, אני זוכר את זה.
אתה זוכר? קוראים לו גיא.
זה היה במטוס.
And then normal people say, "Oh, what's up with October 7th? War with Iran, Gaza, genocide." Normal people go online and they start following these big influencers. And then they go, "Whoa, these people are psychotic and retarded." And then they end up siding with the Jews and defending Jews and thinking you're all idiots.
Meetings which he always attends.
Dude, you don't think there's any other explanation? He's got other people in government that can do meetings and press conferences. He doesn't have to be at every single press conference. He's got other duties to do as well. He doesn't need to go read off the paper or the teleprompter. Somebody else could do it. Trying to tell me there's never been any Israeli politician, military, Mossad press conferences without him in attendance before?
הנה הפרט הכי חשוב. איך קוראים לך? שיר. מה ששיר אמר ואת?
שיר גם.
Completely stupid. Amalek says, and for the retard schizos who see this and see that's a ring, they are shiny, light appears in strange ways with cameras. This detachment from reality is mentally unhealthy and politically unhelpful. Worthless. And just like we saved all the tweets for the people shilling for Trump and telling you he's turning against Netanyahu and he's going to be the peace president, we saved all the screenshots and we showed the receipts how we were right, they were wrong. We're doing the same thing again now with this. After the first supposed 6 fingers AI video and disappearing teeth bullshit, Netanyahu mocks them and goes to a coffee shop and says, look at my fingers, count them, you stupid goy. And they go, look, the coffee's fake. Look, the shelf is empty. Look, his pocket moved funny. They're just never going to give it up. But we're saving all the screenshots of all the people that were doing this. But the masses are sheep and want to be duped and have goldfish brains and just love to be entertained by the conspiracy slop, so it probably won't make a difference. Yeah, this is Foamgate.
מה שאלת אותי?
ראש הממשלה אומרים ברשת שאתה בכלל מת?
אני מת על קפה, אתה יודע מה? אני מת על העם שלי. איך הם מתנהגים, פנטסטי. אתה רוצה לספור את מספר אצבעות?
אתה יכול להראות לנו?
פה. פה. ראית?
יפה מאוד.
לחיים.
יש לנו מסר לאנשים שיוצאים ומתעברים.
Our discourse, our pushback is like, they're not the real Israel. You're worshiping Baal. You're fake. You're really dead and actually fake. Or you're not the real Jews. You're Khazarians. It's all just missing the mark. Everything misses the mark. All these big JQ anti-Israel influencers just get everything wrong. Have we not been demonstrating that? They get everything wrong.
לצאת להתאוורר, אבל ליד מרחב מוגן.
The Jews couldn't ask for more retarded, discrediting opposition.
לצה"ל, למוסד, אנחנו עושים דברים שאני לא יכול לשתף ברגע זה, אבל עושים דברים מכים באיראן חזק מאוד, גם ביום הזה, גם בלבנון, ממשיכים. אתם אומרים לי להמשיך?
So everybody claimed he was dead, so he goes and does a photo op, going getting coffee, and then what do? They spurg out and start saying that the coffee's fake. So we're saving all the tweets and videos from the people that lied before. All of them getting these crazy viral clips too. 22,000 likes for UNN, who had me on before. Sorry, dude, this is retarded and this is going to age badly. Netanyahu and Ben-Gvir are dead. Anna Kasparian, 64,000 likes. So did they kill Netanyahu or not? Stu Peters, Health Ranger. Netanyahu is dead. The U.S. war machine is getting handled. They killed Charlie Kirk. The Epstein files won't go away, and billions in oil are on fire. Iran won't back down. They're lying about everything. The cabal is all in, and they're going for all of it. We're totally winning, guys. Don't worry. Trust the plan. Stu Peters says, Benjamin Netanyahu, that's dead. Health Ranger, Mike Adams. Almost certainly they targeted him, and he's dead. Look, here's Foamgate. They claim the foam is AI because the foam didn't fall off and spill when Netanyahu was holding it. It's like these peasants have never had, these peasants only drink gas station coffee. They've never had a frothy cappuccino. They've never seen the way foam, surface tension in foam works. Can foam up. It's just embarrassing. All these kooks. Hey, Adam, what do you get paid? You get the call, Adam? You don't believe in the foam? You don't believe in foam and surface tension? Look, Shadow of Ezra, 46,000 likes, 6.8 million views for Foamgate, for Coffeegate. Q is back, White Hat's in charge, God wins. Look at this stupid shit, dude. 46,000 likes. We need to ban the third world, and they need to actually... Is this botted? Is just this third world? So just like we saw on the other thing. Looks like a normal, filled-up cup of coffee to me. They go, look, he took a sip, and it didn't go down. He took a little fake sip. It's probably hot as shit, and he took a little fake sip and talked to the camera. This is the level of schizo going on. It's the third world. They just fall for everything. Look, Adam, this big account, 500,000 followers, 1 million views, 11,000 likes. Suleiman, another one of these. All these guys do is share fake kosher stupid shit. The other hoax they had going with the coffee shop is there was a computer screen, the checkout stand computer screen. And they're all saying, look, it says 2024. It's fake. It's not at the right time. This happened in the past, blah, 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 blah. Somebody edited it and changed it, photoshopped it to say 2024. It says the correct date, 3/13/2026. So they're all lying about that stupid shit also. Look, that's 2024, dude. 1 million views. At least this one got community noted. This is what they all do. Low resolution, stupid shit. Low resolution sleuths. Looking to try to fit the narrative that they want to craft. This one was kind of funny. This is how it started, too, with the supposed 6 fingers and disappearing teeth. Meanwhile, everybody should be focused on what the content of what he said in this. He said the Messiah is coming. He said they're ushering in the Messiah and that they're a global superpower. That should be all of the focus should be on those two statements. Instead, it's he's dead and it's AI and we're really winning, guys. It looks like we're losing, but we're really winning. Trust the plan. And then their only response to him talking about the Messiah is they go, Jesus already came. We're the Israel now, and Jesus already came, and Jesus is going to come back again and save us. That's doing nothing to stop them. That's helping them and allowing and enabling them to return to the land, rebuild their temple, and anoint their Messiah. It's doing nothing to stop it. They don't care if you think Jesus is the Messiah. They're still going to anoint their Messiah. That does nothing to stop it.
As I stand here before you in flesh and blood, here are a few...
Flesh and blood. Oh, this is the this is the fake one. I'm sorry. This is actual AI.
As I stand here before you in flesh and blood, here are a few very important points I want to make clear to the rest of the world. 1, I am alive and well. All reports of me being dead are fake news. 2, we are winning this war. Let there be no doubt about it. 3.
See, they actually are winning the war, and all of their controlled slopposition is running cover that they're winning so bad, telling it's Operation Trust. Oh, Iran's actually winning. Oh, all their leaders got killed. Well, they did that on purpose. That was a trap. Scott Ritter. Sneeko. Don't worry, guys. We got AI. We got our AI fake war videos that we're having go viral everywhere. Don't worry, dude. Israel's getting destroyed, dude. It's a pile of rubble. They're just covering it up. This is helping Israel get away with everything, guys. Is that not clear? Christians have been the main opposition to Jews for 1,700 years, for 2,000 years. How's that worked out? Look at where the Jews are at today. Did it stop them? Or has it enabled them since the beginning?
Days of Iran are counted. 4, I am not the President of the United States of America. 5, we will continue this war until the threat has been abolished completely and without a doubt. 6, we must now stand united and strong in this fight for peace and democracy. And 7, beware of false claims and fake news. They are everywhere. As I stand here before you in flesh and blood, here are a few very
funny. Yeah, let's all have a big AI laugh and pretend like we're winning when Israel's just taking over the world and getting us sucked into an Armageddon war. Ha ha. Trust the plan. What do all these people pushing the AI Netanyahu have in common too? Syrian girl, pro-Russian, Dugin conference, Kim.com, just named as one of Dugin's favorite. They're Dugin. Dugin, by the way, Kim Iverson, who had a RT manager. Netanyahu is considered by religious Zionists as the last prime minister of Israel. Afterwards, Mashiach should come, according to them. So his presumable death means much more than just war casualty or the successful retaliation of Iranians. The eschatological dimension is now essential. 12,000 likes. Dugin pushing Moshiach Antichrist. Jewish prophecy mind control. Trash. Kim Iverson pushing it. Where's the rest? I thought I had a whole bunch of replies here. Here's the other one, okay? Jack Stone, you need mod powers? Okay, let's do that. It's not showing up. Hold on. I don't see where it says mod powers. Hold on. I'm clicking on your name and it doesn't say mod. Do I have no mods on Rumble? Who do I need to ban, Jack Stone? Okay, tell me this isn't a Russian op when it's all of the pro-Russia voices saying it. And RT pushing all of it. The AI Netanyahu death hoax is just the next one. It was Pizzagate, QAnon. Trump is anti-war and pro-peace candidate. And now Charlie Kirk truther theories, beef jerky, and all bank account shit. And now this is the latest in the kosher disinfo department. AI Netanyahu. The Russia faction network that plays the controlled opposition where we don't stop the Zionist. It enables the Zionist. Okay. RT posted. AI fake. They're posting Alex Jones saying it's an AI fake.
Days or so, Netanyahu hasn't been seen. Then he suddenly puts out a video earlier today that does look AI, that to me looks fake. I'm not saying he's dead. But this is what hit me when I saw this. Do you think Netanyahu's dumb enough to actually be on the surface or even the second or third level of that base that the Iranian missiles can't get in the lower areas of. It's reportedly like 10 levels deep. Do you think you would actually be above ground to be hit? I mean, the Israelis get hit every night in their major cities other than Jerusalem. And it's off limits. It's the holy city to Muslims as well. And the Israelis in general aren't seeing big casualties because they sleep in the bunkers now that they have under all the major cities. But you know, it was Netanyahu and the Likudniks that killed Yitzhak Rabin. And that's how Netanyahu stayed in power pretty much for continually for 25 years. He's been kicked out a few times and always gets back in. It'd be the perfect cover story to have the Israeli opposition that's backed by the Rothschilds.
Zornder Edom, there is no evidence that he's dead. Only a bunch of internet idiots claiming everything is AI. They're not AI. We debunked that stupid shit. They're not AI videos. You're going to look really dumb. All these people are going to look really dumb when Netanyahu comes on Fox News, or Netanyahu comes and visits the White House again, or Netanyahu goes to the UN. Are you going to claim all that's fake too? It's an actor. He's wearing a mask. How long are you going to keep doubling down on the mental illness? How many times do these people have to be wrong for you to realize they're bullshit artists and they have no credibility? How good does my track record have to be compared to these people before you realize that I'm right and they're wrong again, Zornder Edom? So stop coping. And yes, we're going to show you all the receipts, all the pro-Russia voices pushing this. It's not in my head. So Alex Jones says it's an AI video. Dude, what is going on here? Dude, I did a whole thread here, and none of my tweets are showing up. Look, Iran time. All of these 176,000 followers. All of these Iranian flag accounts are some of the biggest perpetrators of the fake news AI videos. Look at this. Netanyahu's death has been confirmed. 50,000 likes, 9.4 million views from yesterday. With the community note. They don't care. They should be banned. This account should be banned for this mental illness. They're not banning them fast enough for these lies. James Lee, the buddy of Ian Carroll. Is it possible for liquid to be above the lip of the cup without spilling, Grok? Hey, Grok, could you explain this, Grok? Actually, you got owned by Grok. Yes, it's possible. Surface tension and molecular cohesion let liquids like water or coffee foam form a convex dome slightly above the cup's rim without spilling. It's fulfilled carefully and undisturbed. That's what happened in the photo with the coffee. Good physics demo. Uh-oh. I love how these guys ask Grok and then Grok debunks them and they just don't care. Amalek says, anyone who fell for this has the discernment level of a medieval villager. Medieval peasant. Is it villager now? We're upgrading to villager. Villager's a euphemism for peasant, Amalek. At least they had an excuse while you morons have the entire world of information at your fingertips. If you fell for this, you're embarrassing to even be around, and you should feel shame. So true. Nope, that's who's in charge. That's who's leading the opposition now, these idiots. Another big Russia shill. Galloway's heavily pushing all this shit. Israel's so desperate, they're releasing terrible AI deepfakes of Netanyahu, proving he's still alive. Let's hear this communist.
Pure frothy. Released.
Vatnik.
Released images and audio of Benjamin Netanyahu buying a cup of coffee in a Jerusalem cafe, although that cafe is in fact closed as a result of Iranian strikes.
Yeah, surf.
So
we should say surf.
Specially opened.
Medieval surfs.
For him. More importantly, he bought a frothy latte. It was pure frothy. According to Grok, it was 95% likely a fake, an AI or other fake image.
Oh my God. They keep doing this. They share the memes. They go, it says, AI says this is fake. Yeah, the AI is never wrong about anything. Even Grok says it's 95% fake. This guy is such an idiot.
According to other experts.
Such a subversive traitor, too. This guy is full-blown Russia shill.
In the field, it's 97% fake. You could tell by one or two of the characteristics of the fake that it was just that. First of
Thick.
all,
It's thick because it's thick because Grok says it's thick.
It was a distinctly thinner Benjamin Netanyahu than the last time he was pictured in public just 5 days ago. Now, he might be on.
Dude, have you never heard of lenses, focal length, and the effects that can have? Base Man says I'm a traitorous shill. This guy literally goes and hangs out in Moscow and glazes Netanyahu every day. Give me a fucking break. You're banned, base man Chad.
It's working fast. If
you're a base retard.
Secondly, he picked up the frothy latte, and it was frothing to the brim, and not a single drop of it spilled.
Oh my God!
A single drop of it appeared on his upper lip. He took a very big drink of it, and then the camera shot the cup again, and if he did take a drink of it, he didn't swallow because the cup was still filled.
Yeah, he's filming a video. That was just barely enough to wet your lips.
And then we learned that he did exactly the same trick in exactly the same cafe in 2024. And there are some images, whether correct or not, I can't vouch.
They're not correct. They always do this too, allegedly, or people are saying, or maybe, or what if this turns out to be true? They're such bullshit artists. Yeah, he barely swallowed. It was a sip for the camera, exactly.
There are some images that seem to show on the receipt, on the till, that this actually was in 2024. He showed his fingers, and there were only 5 of them. But we could tell.
Totally retarded.
Maxed Out Bear sent $10 on Rumble. I don't know about villagers or peasants. I prefer to identify as a pleb.
A pleb? This guy's all over RT, dude. This guy's the worst. Absolute worst.
He was lying because his lips were moving. But his lips and his ears didn't look like Benjamin Netanyahu's lips and ears.
Oh my God.
All very perplexing.
What the fuck are you talking about, dude? It's AI, so it's fake in AI, but it doesn't look like him. The AI is good enough to make it everyone else thinks it's real, but it's just not good enough because the foam and because it doesn't look quite like him. These people are just absolutely retarded. This guy should be arrested as a subversive foreign traitor doing wartime disinfo. That's what I'd like to see for this idiot. 20,000 likes. Candace Owens, 58,000 likes. There is a cover-up afoot regarding the health of Bibi Netanyahu. The United States government should be addressing this head-on, but there is a directive to stay mum. What's going on? Haven't they lied enough? Candace always does this every time. So our government doesn't put out a statement and go, you guys are a bunch of retards, he's actually still alive. You wouldn't believe him anyway if they did do that. If they did do that, you'd say, pretty suspicious. Why are they protesting? They feel so pressed. Why are they doing damage control? We know the way your shtick works, Candace. They should be addressing it head on. When they do address it head on, they go, why are you even addressing us? Why are you even defending this unless you're guilty? RT promoted this original one too. Are any other mainstream media covering this mental illness, or is it only RT amplifying it and all the pro-Russia voices making this a thing online? Hey, we could be talking about, I don't know, the religions, or their Gog and Magog, or how they're a global superpower in technology and running all of our Christian Zionist politicians. Maybe we could talk about Palantir. Maybe we could focus on the real things, but no, we're in schizo land that Netanyahu's actually dead. Guys, I don't know if I want to ban him. He's just such a spurging idiot. It's kind of funny to me. It shows how stupid our detractors are. Okay, here we go. Jackson Hinkle going, hey, Netanyahu, is your dad dead? Why is he not at the meeting? Maybe because it's a different department. Maybe he has had something else to do. Look, RT pushing Netanyahu has disappearing teeth. Come on, dude. Like, as if there's not going to be shadows in the back of his mouth. RT pushing this conspiracy slop. He's an old man. Maybe he's missing a tooth. Maybe he's just got crooked teeth. So stupid. Look, Netanyahu absent from latest military council. How can it not be any more obvious that RT is boosting all of this nonsense? Ryan Matta, big Putin shill, pushing the AI. George Galloway, Candace Owens, Ben Swan, who had a show on RT also, is pushing the Pizzagate shit. Kim.com, Kim Iverson, Health Ranger, Dugan, RT, Jackson Hinkle, Elizabeth Lane. I never heard of this girl till she had like no following on social media, and she was on Tucker's show. She's in with Candace, another huge Putin shill, Elizabeth Lane, pushing the AI slop. Russian Report. 23. All these Russian bot slop accounts. All right? And I'm sure there's many, many more like that. It's no mystery who's pushing this slop. And then the Jews get to go, Candace Owens is retarded. Look at the retard right. Look at them lie. Look at them post AI stuff. Look at them in their blood libels, and look at them. And this is what enables them to get away with it.
Today, the transgression comes from the right, because what we are calling the retard right, Podcastistan, what you name it, I think is inevitable. The race for clicks, the titillation of
Hey, base manchild, I push slop. What slop do I push? Let's hear it. Tell us.
Transgression. I want a free internet. I'm an American. I don't want hate speech laws. It is inevitable that that'll happen, that there's going to be a contingency of people who are going to go down that rabbit hole for a variety of reasons. First of all, it's transgressive. And, transgression used to come from the left, where they would burn the American flag, or, you remember Piss Christ in the 80s or 90s. Today, the transgression comes from the right, because the pities are all on the left. Like, you wanted to do something really transgressive, do a Piss Floyd at a museum, see if the NEA will find.
Okay, I don't need to hear this guy anymore. He said retard right. I want to see it. Speaking of the retard right, check out Tom McDonald's new banger, dude. His new red pill truth bomb from Tom McDonald, the Wigger rapper. New video, million views, 23,000 likes. You guys ready for this? This is fire. This goes so hard if you're a retarded MAGA idiot.
They a bunch of Satanists, criminals, murderers, and pedos. We all pray to God while they worshiping the devil. Yeah, it's Hollywood, the royal family, politicians left and right. They seem anti-American, they anti-Christ. They anti-Christ. They anti-Christ. They seem anti-American, they anti-Christ. It ain't left and right no more, cause now it's good and evil. They used to call it a conspiracy, but now it's real. We seen the files and the facts, don't care how you feel. They having pizza parties, and that means they eating people. This my wake.
They eating people. I thought Pizzagate was saying that it's like prostitutes. Pizza was code for prostitutes. Now that's evolved into beef jerky gate and eating people. Antichrist, worshiping the devil, eating people. Every kosher talking point is in here.
QAnon didn't make it up.
QAnon, he's a Q-tard.
Kids got flown to Jeffrey's Island by who paid enough. The rich and famous, the young eat human flesh. It ain't for fun. It's ancient ritual, sucking adrenochrome from baby's blood. They call us crazy.
Ancient Canaanite ball worshipping adrenochrome. It's all of the kooky shit. This guy's still on YouTube, by the way. How many views does this have on YouTube already?
But they should be behind bars. They call us liars because they don't want to get charged. They call us conspiracy theorists, but in their hearts they know all the names they call us ain't as bad as what they are. They are Satanists, criminals, murderers, and pedos.
See, again, blaming Satanists. It's Christians and Jews that believe in Yahweh and Messiah prophecies. Satan is their villain in their religion. Blaming Satan is running cover for their actual Jewish plan of Yahweh and Moshiach ruling the world. I wouldn't expect this degenerate rapper to get it, I guess. His most popular video, a rap with Ben Shapiro. He does raps with Ben Shapiro and Rabbi Roseanne, but he's super based now. No, this is totally based in red-pilled stuff, dude. He said adrenochrome and QAnon and that they worship the devil and eat babies. So based. That's totally not kosher. What are his other videos? Oh, Ben Shapiro and Rabbi Roseanne. Okay. Hello.
We all pray to God while they worshiping the devil. Yeah, it's Hollywood, the royal family, politicians left and right. They seem anti-American, they anti-Christ. They anti-Christ.
So they're antichrist now. Trump and all these people, I suppose, that you all shilled for. You did the MAGA hat and you shilled for Trump and did all the Fox News shit. When you brought on Roseanne to do a rap about Trump saying daddy's home, you were calling Trump your daddy, but now we're supposed to trust you that Trump and the Jews around him are worshiping Baal and Satan and adrenochrome. You were wrong about Trump then and you're wrong about him now. Here's this Roseanne video. Doesn't get more cringe than this. Daddy's home. This was right after Trump won the election. Ooh, liberal tears. Thank you, Alabama. Stomp the troll chain. I don't know. He's just so stupid and spurgy. But then you guys are distracted by him. Okay, I'll get rid of him. But hey, look at this, guys. 1 year ago, 7.5 million views. And now they're all pedophiles and worshiping the devil. These people have no credibility. We can't listen to them. Okay? You should know the things everything he's pushing in this Antichrist song is as kosher opposition as it gets. Rest. You get the point. All right. Should we let's do the Ben Shapiro one just so we know how kosher this guy's whole message, his whole Antichrist song is.
Only two genders, boys and girls. They call me offensive, controversial. It's only two genders, boys and girls. They can't cancel my message because I'm the biggest independent rapper in the whole freaking world. Claim that I'm racist, yeah, alright. I'm not ashamed because I'm white. If every Caucasian's a bigot, I guess every Muslim's a terrorist. Every liberal is right. I don't want to talk to folks who don't get it. Go woke, go broke, no hope, it's pathetic. Pro-choice, pronouns, pro-love, you're progressive. But you ain't pro-gun, no one to protect it. Where the American flags at? Remember when people would hang those? They've been taken down, they all been replaced with BLM flags or a rainbow. This ain't rap, this ain't money, cars and clothes. We ain't selling drugs, we ain't gonna overdose. We ain't pushing guns, ain't promoting stripper poles. We won't turn your sons into thugs or your daughters into hoes. I don't care if I offend you. I was put here to upset you. You can cry and you can scream. You can riot in the streets. You defunded the police. Now there's no one to protect you. I hope I offend you. I ask myself, what would Ben do?
What would Ben do? I ask myself, what would Ben do? Because, Ben's never offended when you say anything about Jews. We need Tech Monkey. Is Tech Monkey around? Tech Monkey probably loves this song. I bet you he's a huge Tom McDonald stan. I'm sure Tech Monkey loves this stuff.
Real facts, don't care how you feel, man. If you want my
Tom McShabos.
Let's look at the stats. I've got the facts. My money like Liz, so my pockets are fat. Homie, I'm epic. Don't be a wap. Dog, it's a yarmulke. Homie, no cap. Look at the graphs. Look at my charts. You're blowing money on strippers and cars. You going to prison. I'm on television. Dog, no one knows who you are. Keep hating on me on the internet. My comment section all woke Karens. And I make racks off compound interest. Y'all live with your parents. Nikki, take some notes.
Dude, bragging about making racks off compound interest Dude, never beating the accusations.
Stereotyping Jews is terrible.
How could he?
I just did this for fun. All my people down.
Kosher King McCracker.
Sent $5 on Rumble. Kosher King McCracker.
Download this, let's get a billboard #1.
This ain't rap, this ain't money, cars and clothes. We ain't selling drugs, we ain't gonna overdose.
This slaps.
Guns ain't promoters.
My sister's got Kazan Milkus.
So your daughters in the holes. I don't care if I offend you.
Okay.
I was put here to upset you.
So cringe. So cringe. So keep that in mind. Keep that in the back of your head. His big collabs with Roseanne and Ben Shapiro when he's telling you that QAnon was right. They're drinking adrenochrome. They're worshiping ancient enemies of Yahweh gods.
247 sent $5 on Rumble. Had an older respectful man who would be considered old Republican show me these videos in Kid Rock and I just saw it as super gay. They want to be hip like the Afro community.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's awful.
0F sent $5 on Rumble. This is off subject, but I'm a Viking woman and I never got any wisdom teeth either. I heard you say you didn't. I thought that was cool. My dentist told me I'm evolved.
That's true. Shout out Viking woman in the chat. Highly evolved, no wisdom teeth Viking woman. Let's go. Thank you. Guys are going to be all over you in the chat now. All right, so keep that in mind. Ben Shapiro, Roseanne, when you hear him talk about all the bullshit in this song. They're Antichrist. Antichrist, worshiping the devil, drinking their blood. They hate Jesus. All this shit, okay? It's kosher. It's kosher.
They anti-Christ. They seem anti-American. They anti-Christ. It ain't a culture war no more. The real fight is started. We've been up against each other, but now we the targets. It's the rappers, it's the actors, the elites in charge. It's kings and queens. They all bowing to the prince of darkness. Things ain't getting better. They run the world with rich investors. The cult came from Egyptian deserts. Now the cannibals in Gucci sweaters.
Hold on. The cult came from Egyptian deserts? Who are you saying? Babylonians? What, is it the Egyptians? Are you saying it's not Jews? Because would Israel be Egyptian deserts?
They are bowing to the prince of darkness. Things ain't getting better. They run the world with rich investors. The cult came from Egyptian deserts. Now the cannibals in Gucci sweaters.
The cult came from Egyptian deserts? Does he mean like the Jews in the Exodus? Is that what he's referring to?
Using AI to fuel agendas, control the news.
Did he say Jews in AI? Hold on.
Deserts, now the cannibals in Gucci sweaters. Using AI to fuel agendas, control the news, the truth, the weather. Now we're ruled by a group of dudes who are all satanic child molesters. They call us crazy, but they should be behind bars. They call us liars because they don't want to get charged. They call us conspiracy theorists, but in their hearts they know all the names they call us ain't as bad as what they are. They are Satanists, criminals, murderers, and pedos. We all pray to God while they worshiping the devil. Yeah, it's Hollywood, the royal family, politicians left and right. They seem anti-American, they anti-Christ. They anti-Christ.
Dude, they hate our rabbi. They're anti the Jewish Messiah. That's the real problem with the people running the world. Yeah, they're not shoveling Jesus down your throat and it's the #1 religion of all time. No, they're all against it, dude. They're trying to destroy it. Go to the YouTube and look at everybody in the comments. I should go read the comments on YouTube.
They anti-Christ. They seem anti-American. They anti-Christ.
So cringe, so awful. It reminds me of this guy. Thank you, Jack Stone, for reminding me. Remember this Jewish wigger rapper? This Jiggo rapper? He does all the kosher shit too. Look, same things.
Fuck the synagogue of Satan, hey. Hey, fuck the synagogue of Satan.
See, a guy with an Israeli flag and a menorah blaming the synagogue of Satan. Hello? The Jewish guy blaming Khazars and synagogue of Satan and saying they worship the devil and they're not real Jews. They're making Jews look bad. It's not the same guy. This guy's Jewish. This is the Jewish rapper, the Jigga.
Fuck the synagogue of Satan, hey. Hey, fuck the synagogue of Satan. Jew not like us, we don't want no association. Giving Jewish people a misrepresentation and using Jerusalem just for gentrification. The devil in disguise, the shit identity fraud. You claiming my religion, but you don't believe in God.
See? Oh, it's the secular people pretending to be Jewish. Secular state of Israel. Oh, they're stolen identity. It's not the real Jews are good. It's these Khazar imposters. You see? You see all this kosher rap? Kosher red pill rap?
Just for gentrification, the devil in disguise, the shit identity fraud. You claiming my religion, but you don't believe in God. You killed Jesus Christ, then you killed hip-hop. My good Jewish people, it's time to drain the swamp. Exposing the snakes in the grass and the hypocrites. Eliminate.
You killed Jesus. So the Jews up there saying synagogue of Satan and you killed Jesus and you're imposters. All the kosher talking points. There's nothing they fear more, right, guys? Nothing they fear more than all of this slop. These guys pretend like we're independent. Yeah, we're not in the system. We're not a part of the industry. But they're shilling the number one Jewish religion of all time.
All the pedophiles and degenerates abusing our tribe is something.
You trying to tell me, hey guys, you trying to tell me that these guys are based and they get it and they're right, but we're wrong and I'm wrong? I don't think so. You think Roseanne and Tom McDonald and Ben Shapiro is actually over the target, but I'm not? You think this guy's over the target, but I'm not? You think I'm a Mossad op, but this isn't? Hey, how about all the slop out there with getting hundreds of thousands of likes by all the kosher Christian opposition influencers? What's more likely to be the op? Yeah, thanks, Amalek. Antichrist is Aryan as fuck. Totally it is, dude. Being anti the Jewish Messiah, anti the Lion of the tribe of Judah, dude, is so based.
I hide behind, even the Bible said you're the destruction of mankind. Ruining our culture, you the dirtiest and slimiest. You the reason that the whole world hating Zionists. You the reason that I have to deal.
No, Zionism and Judaism, which is the same thing, is why people are not liking it. See? It's Zionism isn't Judaism. Hey, Zionism, you're giving Judaism a bad name. Zionism is Judaism. Chosen people, promised land, holy land, nation of priests, returning from exile, ingathering of the exiles, rebirth of a nation, third temple, animal sacrifices, Messiah. Oh, none of that is Jewish, though. It's atheist. Has nothing to do with Judaism. Please.
Anti-Semitism and keep having to apologize to Muslims and Christians. Because of y'all, everybody blaming Israel. Because of y'all, civilian children are getting killed. I'm unifying Ashkenazi and Sephardic. Let's free Palestine and turn the devil to our target. Because we long overdue for a peaceful compromise. Once we recognize there's evil on both sides. Soldiers in the IDF, I pray your soul is blessed. But understand Hamas ain't the only terrorists. Jewish privileges, I haven't received any. The Rothschild family hasn't given me a penny. George Soros hasn't given me a dime. See, he's the type of swine that's an enemy of mine. Lord, protect my bloodline from the Jeffrey Epsteins, the Harvey Weinsteins, raping and molesting, government officials who stand for ethnic cleansing, crooked politicians on the right and the left wing, Nancy Pelosi manipulating stocks, and fuck Larry Fink, the owner.
Okay, I can't handle anymore. Look, it's not a conspiracy anymore. It's all true. They totally eat babies and drink adrenochrome, so we all got to believe in Jesus, guys. No, Tom. The goal of Jews is that all the world worships the Jewish God, and you're promoting the Jewish God and Jewish messianic prophecies. So no, you are part of the problem. You are a spiritual Jew promoting a Jewish religion and Jewish prophecies. You guys want some more? Here's his other version.
They a bunch of Satanists, criminals, murderers, and pedos. We all pray to God while they worshiping the devil. Yeah, it's Hollywood. Seem anti-American, they anti-Christ.
Yeah, trust this guy that collabs with Roseanne and Ben Shapiro and has tattoos all over his face. He's got it figured out. You like your Jesus to rhyme? It's so cringe, I can't even get over it, dude. It's so cringe, I just want to throw up. All right, here's some more of the, look at this, 38,000 likes, community noted. This idiot, Project Constitution. I don't see how he doesn't get sued for this, dude. He should be sued. He probably has nothing. Leaked DOJ wiretap, smoking gun, captures Erica Kirk, scheduling underage girls for Epstein. No, it's not Erica Kirk. It's another girl. And you should be sued and banned for slandering this poor grieving widow for this bullshit. This fat idiot slob Project Constitution. Charlie Kirk investigator. Or I'm an internet detective. Or I think Charlie Kirk was killed by his wife. New document reveal Erica Kirk used to work for Epstein. 126,000 likes. Where's the document? No document. They just claim it. How am I following this person? I must have started following to monitor the disinfo, but I haven't seen it for so long. It's crazy how you'll follow accounts and then they'll never appear. You would think this slop account would appear. 126,000 likes for something that's just completely made up. Liz Crokin also, she should be sued for this. Yeah, she's a poor grieving widow, mysterious soul. Was she not married to Charlie Kirk? Were they clearly not married? Did they clearly not have children? Was he not shot in front of the whole world? You think she loved it? Do you think she loved seeing that? Her husband being shot? Her hotshot husband who very likely could have been president one day and was a multimillionaire celebrity? You think she loved it? She's not grieving because what? She wore a dress because she smiled? You fucking idiot. Go watch Candace Owens and Ian Carroll, you fucking retard. I'm not going to curse. This is a family show. Children are watching. Liz Crokin, another Putin shill, stupid Christian, Pizzagate kook, says, Erica Kirk is involved in the rape, torture, and trafficking of children. I came to conclusion based off my own research and before Candace started exposing it. So everyone trying to get me to cover up for this can go fuck off. I don't care what you claim to represent. If you are involved in the rape, torture, and trafficking of children, I will expose you. It's really that simple. 1 million views, 19,000 likes. Trash. It's total trash. Such despicable, evil, demonic slander. 1 million views. It's a smoking gun. It's totally Erica. It sounds like her. It took people like 30 seconds to figure out who's actually in this. Some other chick.
She knows that your mom really takes your cell phone.
Second phone call attempt at 4:26 p.m.
I won't have the cell phone after 4.
Oh, and I love too, Liz Crokin, who pushed QAnon, who's a Trump shill, Mike Flynn type shit. She was biggest Trump shill there was. Trust the plan, QAnon bullshit for years. Now we're supposed to take her serious when Trump is apparently involved in the cannibalism and satanic ritual child abuse, but you supported him for 10 years? And now you were wrong about Trump for 10 years, and now we're still supposed to think you have credibility?
And I'm taking my son.
Doesn't even sound like her.
Well, like, what do you think?
Not even close.
I don't know. I'm going to talk to him tomorrow morning.
So you just hear some girl talking and just say, it's Erica. She's raping children. She murdered her husband.
Got it. How much? Like, would I get paid last time?
Okay, it doesn't even sound remotely by here, and I don't like that noise, so we're not going to listen anymore. Hey, JP Sears, the comedian, 15,000 likes, almost 1 million views. Here, he's probably on you. He's still on YouTube too, I'm sure. Rumble sponsor. Funny how the comedian yoga dude became a MAGA grifter and goes, oh, I believe in Jesus now, and starts selling Christian merch like they all do. Look at his crap anti-Zionist video. Getting everything wrong. All the kosher limited hangout talking points.
No nukes coming in. Beautiful day. Yep, not yet. Hey, I've been seeing the Zionist stuff all over, but what's that mean? Zionism, is that a religion, like a form of Judaism? Oh, no, it's not a religion, it's a political movement.
He's saying it's not even a form of Judaism. No, Zion, the promised land, return of the exiles, next year in Jerusalem, wanting to rebuild their temple, wanting to fulfill prophecies. No, nothing to do with Judaism. It's just secular atheist in the Rothschilds. Nothing to do with Judaism. Brought to you by what? Wellness company?
Zionism, is that a religion, like a form of Judaism? Oh, no, it's not a religion, it's a political movement. Became an organized movement in the 1890s with major financial backing.
There were many Zionist movements before the 1890s and Theodore Herzl. See, this is how much of a problem this disinfo is. So his whole video is, don't worry, it's not Christianity and Judaism. It's just Rothschild or Schofield or dispensational or Talmud or secular humanist, atheist, modern Zionist movement. All it does is it deflecting from what it all is, Judaism, all rooted in Judaism. There would be no Zionism without Judaism.
Political movement. Became an organized movement in the 1890s with major financial backing from the Rothschilds. The Rothschilds? Yeah, the control banking, world government, secretive global control family. Those Rothschilds? Yep, those Rothschilds. Specifically, it was Edmund D. Rothschild that helped launch Zionism. So
rabbis were writing letters and trying to persuade the Rothschilds, who were the richest Jews at the time, and who had got the Balfour Declaration written for them, addressed to them. They're asking them, hey, can you try to buy the Temple Mount so they can rebuild the temple and fulfill their prophecies? Hey, can you fund these wine plantation vineyards so they can fulfill a prophecy about going back and having vineyards? To act like Zionism and Jews, the conspiracy just goes back to like the Rothschilds or the Frankists or Khazarians or something, and saying, no, it has nothing to do with Judaism. Real Judaism's good. You're just running cover for Judaism, clearly.
Not the same thing as Judaism? No. What Zionism runs in opposition to actual Judaism, which technically makes Zionism anti-Semitic when you think about it.
See, actually, Zionism is just anti-Semitic. So if 99% of all Jews and rabbis in the world are pro-Zionist, if the vast majority of all rabbis are pro-Israel and pro-Zionist, but you're going to say, no, it has nothing to do with Judaism, this is just straight running cover for Jews and Judaism.
What Zionism runs in opposition to actual Judaism.
Actual Judaism. See, actual Judaism is good and has nothing to do with the promised land and the chosen people and having a Messiah rule the world. Nothing to do with that. Nothing at all. It's just that fake Israel. The church is the real Israel, so they can't be Israel. See? Done. All done.
Which technically makes Zionism anti-Semitic when you think about it, but I don't think you're supposed to think about it because that creates problems for powerful people. Okay, so actual Judaism is not Zionism. Correct. Zionism violates the values of Judaism, so they're not the same and kind of very different. I thought Judaism and Zionism just went together. That's confusing. I think it's meant to be confusing.
No, you guys are making it confusing. They're directly related. There is no Zionism. Oh, a bunch of Jews want to return to the promised land that the Bible promised to them. Oh, it has nothing to do with that. They just called it Zionism because they want to return to Zion. So the whole first minute is sweeping for Judaism. Okay.
I thought Zionism was biblical. No, it's a political ideology from the 1890s. Judaism is the biblical one. Rothschilds, Zionism. So you're saying it's the same Rothschilds that most of us think control governments around the world? Yeah, same name, same bloodline. Huh. How would the Rothschilds control the U.S.? You ever hear of Israel? What do the Rothschilds have to do with Israel? They helped create it.
And this is just a stupid little skit and not even the slightest bit funny. It's just kosher slop talking points.
They played a very pivotal role in the early development of the Zionist community in Palestine and the eventual creation of the State of Israel. So you think the Rothschilds might have some influence and control over something that they created? Yeah. Maybe. Huh, weird. So why are all the Zionists wanting this war with Iran? Well, what would you say is at the heart of all corrupt power? Well, I'd say the desire to accumulate more power and control at the expense of human welfare. I would agree. I don't know about that. I've been hearing a lot of Zionists on interviews lately. Lindsey Graham's doing a lot of them, saying we have to do the war with Iran to protect Israel because God wants us to. What have all parties throughout all religious wars and all of history said was their motive for killing and destruction? God wanted them to. And what about
But it has nothing to do with but Zionism has nothing to do with Judaism, but they're basing it on what God told them. Again, so now the whole minute and a half of saying it has nothing to do with Judaism, now he's saying that they're justifying this by using God. Completely contradict himself.
opposing sides in the same religious war? God wanted them to. Both of them. Yeah. Do you think God's schizophrenic? Probably not. Or do you think evil would use the name of God to justify corrupt actions? Suppose it might.
Oh, see, they're not doing it because the Bible says so. They're twisting the Bible for their own power. No, the Bible is just about power and ruling the world for the God of Israel. So more deflecting away from that there's anything wrong. Has this guy ever read the Old Testament?
Schizophrenic? Probably not. Or do you think evil would use the name of God to justify corrupt actions? Suppose it might. But I follow some
Yeah, and that's why they invented the Torah. That you say there's nothing wrong with, and has nothing to do with Israel. Sober Jeff Hardy. Oh my God, have we gotten no donos, or is that just not updating? Dude, Miss No More News is not going to be happy if that's accurate. I haven't heard much from you guys today. Super based Jeff Hardy says, it's not Judaism, it's the synagogue of Satan, bro. Worship Rabbi Jesus and we win. Rabbi Yeshua HaMashiach, and then we win.
Zionists online, and they don't seem like they have evil intentions. They seem like genuinely good people supporting what they think is good. Yep, I agree. So why would good people support something evil? Well, because of weaponized morality. Huh? Weaponized morality is when evil movements convince good people that the good thing to do is the bad thing. But they use lies, deception, and manipulation to convince people that the bad censor speech online because that's the right thing to do. And here we are. Most of them aren't bad people. They're good people that fell for it. Yeah, you know, I used to believe that whole climate crisis thing. Yeah, I fell for that one too. Yeah, people can just be stupid sometimes. But man, I get what you're saying with all this. But I just think if you look at the Bible and with the end times prophecy and Israel being God's chosen people, it just makes me think that what's going on with the war with Iran, there just might be something biblical to that. You're referring to dispensationalism, not the Bible. Dispensational, huh?
Again,
dispensationalism doesn't...
No. The rabbis and Jews and the majority of Christians in America all believe that there's got to be a third temple and an antichrist and Jesus returns, and the Jews believe there's got to be a third temple and red heifers and anoint a Messiah and destroy Edom and Gog and Magog. You just saying, well, no, it's just dispensationalist, does nothing to stop it.
Sober Jeff Hardy sent $5 on Rumble. $5 shekel challenge has begun.
You can cope all day about Schofield and dispensationalists to write off and hand wave. You think the Jews care that you believe that? You think that's good? You think you saying, "Oh, we're the real Israel," and that's just dispensational, and Jesus already came, and none of that does anything to stop the Jews and their prophecy agenda. Nothing. Does nothing to stop it. In fact, the Christians say, "Well, it's bad and it's not right, but it has to happen," so they're helping it.
Goy will watch this in between scrolling and bong rips, believing they know about the synagogue of Satan and Zios.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, people are like, "Oh, everybody's waking up. The Great Awakening. Everybody's getting red-pilled. Everybody knows about the Jews now." They don't. I've seen the viral videos on Instagram and TikTok and Facebook and YouTube. It's stuff like this. It's the synagogue of Satan and Satanist Frankist shit. Or it's Khazars. Or it's Schofield Bible and Talmud. No, the masses are not awakening. They're more deceived than ever. It's not the Great Awakening. It's the Great Retarding, says Cremoni in the Odysee chat. It's the Great Deception, false awakening.
From the Bible, it's a radicalized literal interpretation of the Bible that comes from the Schofield Reference Bible.
Yo, Jimbo117 sent $5 on Rumble. Here's my shekels.
Thank you, Jimbo. Thank you.
Not the Bible. What's that? It's a book written and published in 1909 by a guy named C.I. Schofield in order to spread Zionism. And they got it to be very influential over Christianity with its new, made up interpretations of the Bible. It's got a strong...
So everybody else, the Bible's just so unclear, and everybody else just all real Christianity totally knew, but just with a couple footnotes, they were able to just completely brainwash everybody, and there's nothing we can do to reverse that at all. And there's nothing Jewish about the Bible until Schofield. Schofield wasn't the original to come up with these doctrines. It was Darby. It was already a school of Gentile Christianity thought, and it's like clearly it's more Christians are going to believe and have Zionist thoughts when there is a state of Israel too. Yeah, the dono thing is frozen. We're higher than that. It's frozen.
Strong emphasis on literal Israel being God's chosen people, and it strongly pushes prophecy and end-time interpretations that aren't present in traditional biblical interpretations, but are very important pieces of Zionist propaganda. Well, what kind of new interpretations did this Schofield guy introduce? Well, before him, almost everyone saw Israel and church to be the same thing.
I don't even think he says it's not the same thing. Paul is very clear that the church, he calls the church Israel. So no, I don't even think that's in Schofield.
In God's chosen people are the ones that go to church. That makes sense.
This guy's never even looked at the Schofield Bible, by the way. He's probably picking this up from memes and some TikTok video he saw.
But Schofield comes along and draws a big distinction between the two, separating them, making it so Israel no longer includes churchgoers, and therefore churchgoers are not God's chosen people. So according to him, just people in literal Israel are God's chosen people. Like God is racist against everyone who's not from the state of Israel. Well, according to Schofield and Zionists, yes.
No, that's just according to the Bible. The Bible just inherently says that.
With the massive liberties he took with his new interpretations, it made the formation of the State of Israel in 1948 sound like biblical prophecy. Well, maybe God was speaking through Schofield, and Schofield was able to interpret God's word better than God knew how to speak it. Maybe. But Schofield wasn't.
And the whole argument is, the premise is like, oh, it's not real Christianity. These aren't real messianic prophecy. This isn't what the prophecy really says. There is no real prophecy. Prophecies are fake. It's whatever, it's in the eye of the beholder. None of these prophecies are real, so it's just whatever people say they are is what they become.
Alcoholic, a literal criminal, and he abandoned his wife and child. So it could be possible that God was working through him. Oh, his work was also funded by wealthy Zionists, too. So yeah, I mean, it could be he was motivated by...
That's another meme thing that I tried to fact check and wasn't true either. He was published by Oxford Press, and Rothschilds donated to Oxford. That's the extent of the link there.
by God, or it could be he was motivated by the money he was paid by Zionists to write what he wrote.
Oh, he forced him. See, no Christian would ever read the Bible and think the Jews are the chosen people, or that they got to return to the land at some point. The Bible never says anything about a holy land or Jews returning from exile. He must be paid by the Zionists to say this. I guess every Christian out there that thinks Jesus is a Jew and the Jews are God's chosen people, I guess they're just paid to think so. No, just normal people reading the Bible. The Bible is just all about the Jews. This is all just trying to scapegoat one little tiny thing to avoid criticizing that just the whole Bible's Jewish and fake Jewish prophecies.
In order to spread Zionism, but yeah, I don't know. I just assumed it was from the Bible. Rothschild, Schofield. The guy never knew where Zionism came from. Yeah, I don't think they want you to know. What if the Rothschilds
comes from the Bible,
truly doing the work of the Lord, and therefore Zionism is God's way? Do you know the Rothschilds are all over the Epstein files? Oh yeah, I've seen that. Yeah. In an email, Epstein said, and I quote, "I represent the Rothschilds family." And there's a lot of other mentions too. So you don't think Epstein was doing the Lord's work either? Oh, what are you doing at this point? Yeah, I didn't think so either. I'm just throwing stuff at a wall. Peptides are short chains of amino acids that
and a supplements promo. Hey, I'm sure he's totally on top of it, guys. He's got 3 million subscribers on YouTube and got 120,000 views on YouTube on that video in one day. So I'm sure he's on top of things, and I don't know what I'm talking about, right? $7,000, right? $15,000 likes. You made a 9-minute video on the topic where you couldn't even get the core issue correct. Zionism literally originated in the Torah. There would be no Zionism without the Torah in Judaism.
Gabriel, he did it just for me.
And you actually spoke with Jesus. You know, we speak with him on earth.
Checking in on the Christians. Fox News, #1 news network in the world, shilling Jesus for years. But yeah, they're trying to destroy it. Most Zionist network ever, and they're always shilling Jesus. But yeah, they're Antichrist. They don't want you to believe in the Jewish Messiah. Nothing they hate more.
And you actually spoke with Jesus. You know, we speak with him on earth through prayer, but you saw him face to face. You had a conversation. What did he say?
Well, I didn't originally see him face to face because my face was down because I was so concerned that the list of my mistakes was going to be pulled up. And I was done for. It was like black and white, like I have no hope, right? But he picks up my face, he looks me in the eyes, and he says, "Gabriel, why are you concerned about that which is paid for?" And he showed me the wounds in his hands. Not his hands, this was like his wrists. They carried the depth of eternity, and his wounds had a name, Gabriel. He did it just...
Carried the depth of eternity? What, did you write that with ChatGPT?
Like I was his only one. I'll forever be his only one. He'd waited his entire life just for me.
That is the message of Christianity, and it makes me tear up to hear that, because that's what Christ is all about. That's what Christianity is all about. And you actually spoke...
In coma for 18 days, met Jesus. Bring him on. Fox News. Oh, there's more?
Through prayer, but... And you actually spoke with Jesus. You know, we speak with him...
The same clip. What the hell? Yeah, dude. Nothing they hate more. So this is funny. Megyn Kelly was feuding with Mark Levin. She said that he had a micro penis, Mark, she called him. And then Trump tweets out in defense of Mark Levin. Look at how cucked this is. Mark Levin literally ran to Trump and said, "You better do something about this, Don." Donald Trump just tweeted yesterday, "Mark Levin, a truly great American patriot, is somewhat under siege by other people with far less intellect, capability, and love for our country. Mark is tough, strong, and brilliant, hence the nickname, the Great One. Conceived by our MAGA friend, the wonderful Sean Hannity. After years of dealing with Mark in legal, media, and other capacities, Mark would often do Sean's show, speaking as a lawyer. Sean realized blah, 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 and criticize him. He is a true conservative and intellect, far smarter than those who criticize him, like that dumb bitch Megyn Kelly." No, I added that in. "Above all, he is a man of great wisdom and common sense who truly loves our country. When you hear others unfairly attack Mark, remember that they are jealous and angry human beings whose sway is much less than the public understands, and will, that they now know where I stand, rapidly diminish. Other than for his wonderful wife and family, Mark Levin only cares and wants one thing: greatness and success for Israel. I mean America, Israel, not America for Israel. Those that speak ill of Mark will quickly fall by the wayside, as do the people whose ideas, policies, and footings are not sound. They are not MAGA. I am. And MAGA includes not allowing Iran, a sick, demented, and violent terrorist regime, to have a nuclear weapon to blow up the United States of America and the Middle East and ultimately the rest of the world. MAGA is about stopping them cold, and that is exactly what we are doing. God bless our great military. Which I began to rebuild since the beginning of his first team. Everlasting peace through strength. An everlasting covenant with God and Abraham. Excuse me. Excuse me. Too much, Trump. We don't need the walls of text. TLDR. Glazing Mark Levin. Trump's like a rambling old man in Twitter now. He used to be like quick-witted and to the point, one-liners. He'll just be like,
$10 on Rumble. Here's another 10 for today's stream so that Mrs. No More News doesn't martyr you.
Thank you. I know. Thank you, Maxed Out Bear. Crazy. Marjorie Taylor Greene, the traitor, the Marjorie Taylor Greene, says, I wholeheartedly support Megyn Kelly telling the world that Mark Levin has a micropenis. It's the most deserved insult, and I don't care if it's vulgar. And Trump's gigantic defense of Levin only enraged the base more. People are done. MAGA destroyed by micropenis Mark Levin. That's such a funny line.
Real Vision sent $5 on Rumble. Curse Mark Levin and you will be cursed.
That would have been a better tweet for Trump. He'd just been, curse Levin and you're cursed. Bless him and you're blessed. I learned that a long time ago from my friend Sean Hannity. Megyn Kelly says, you can take the high road and ignore for a while, but eventually, after hundreds of tweets and attacks, you punch the bully in the rhetorical face, and then he goes running to daddy about his micropenis. Dude. We're all so sick of this world, dude. I feel like I'm taking crazy pills.
I feel like I'm taking crazy pills.
We just need the rapture in Armageddon. Help me, Jesus. I need your help.
Or something. Do you know
Save
what I'm
me.
Becoming more and more prevalent in the Spirit-filled church. We are all just becoming so sick and tired of this place.
She's my favorite Christian, by the way.
Literally just losing all
Favorite
motivation
TikTok Christian.
to do anything. Losing all interest in everything. Literally just completely detaching from this dumpster fire of a flat earth. Like nothing is
Flat Earth.
about this
Dumpster fire, flat Earth.
anymore. When you are a true Spirit-filled Christian, you can feel yourself detaching from this place. We know we are not.
This world doesn't matter. I just want to go to heaven. I just wanted the rapture.
Help me, Jesus! Help me, Jewish God!
Praying for the
A
apocalypse.
part of this world, right? We know that we are set apart. But in these last moments, we know we can feel ourselves detaching. We can feel ourselves just losing all motivation to do anything here because we are literally done here. I have to say, I've been making these videos for 3 or 4 years now, and in the last week and a half-ish, I have found it.
I've been making the end of the world is right around the corner videos for the last 4 years, but now I'm really ready for the rapture.
So difficult to make videos, and I've been in prayer about it. I've been talking to the Lord about it every single day, and He has called me to do this. I've been doing it for a while, but in the last week or so, I just have no desire. And it doesn't mean I'm going to stop, because I know I'm called to the end, right? Until my last breath on this earth, I will do what the Lord has called me to do. But the desire is...
Shill goy slop on TikTok? Is that what the God told you to do? To shill Jewish propaganda to gullible goyim that like all the makeup on your face? And your big juicy lips?
And it's something that I have not felt ever. It's a really hard feeling to navigate. It's a really hard feeling to understand.
Navigate.
And I hope, and I told the Lord today, I'm like, I hope this feeling means that we are done here. You know, I hope this means, and I'm watching a lot of other people just losing their desires, things that they have been doing for years, you know, and motivation to do things and interests, and it's fading away.
Dude, they're literally eating babies and worshiping the devil. I don't even want to live. I don't even want to live on this earth, on this realm, this flat earth anymore. Help me, Jesus. Blow up the world. I'm ready for the apocalypse.
And I'm just wondering if it's because we literally go home this year. The truly spirit-filled, those who are truly saved. You know, the Lord is calling us home, and it's really interesting to watch it become so prevalent. It's such a profound feeling when you are in Christ and you just know you're done here. You know, you look around this world and there's just
This isn't at all demoralizing.
nothing redeemable. It's evil and chaos and stress.
All evil. We're irredeemable. Just blow it all up, God. Just destroy the new Babylon, America. We're so evil. Oh, we're so evil. We just need to be destroyed like Sodom and Gomorrah, like Babylon. Oh, we're run by so many Satanists. Help me, Jesus.
Can't even deal anymore. And
Can't even deal with it.
The world is just, it's just heading, you know, towards the end, and we can see it, we can feel it. And I saw a comment the other day on one of my videos. Somebody had said that they wake up every morning disappointed that we're still here. And to somebody who is not in Christ,
Death cult? Death cult much?
That may sound like we need to be put on medication
Adam
or
Green's
something.
BWC sent $5. Miss no more news. Please do not smite Goyskeech.
Goyskeech. Goyskeech. Thank you, BWC, my
That may
BWC.
sound like we need to be put on medication or something.
You do.
But for those of us,
That's a great idea. We should outlaw lying charlatan schizophrenics like you and put you in mental institutions and put you on drugs and ban you from the internet. If you fail the litmus test and the IQ test, you don't get internet privileges. And this bullshit, this death cult apocalyptic prophecy bullshit should be outlawed.
who are in Christ, who know that this is not our home, that we are not a part of this world.
This world doesn't matter. It's not important.
You know, that we're using discernment.
Nothing matters but the King of the Jews in heaven for believing in the magic of the King of the Jews.
Sensitive to the things of this world and just the mess, to say it nicely, that is this world. And to know that we are going home soon. Our spirit is literally getting called home. It's not just a mental thing. It's not just, an ideology. It is literally our spirit being called
Christian nihilism.
And I know for so many of us, we're just so fatigued, so mentally exhausted with being here. But we also know that the Lord's timing is absolutely perfect. And we also know that he will wait until the last possible second, because he will wait until that last soul comes into his kingdom.
They're going to trust the plan till the very end. Till it's all over. You're going to trust the plan.
So as, frustrating as this world can be, as stressful as this world can be, as we are also sick and tired of it, the fact
I love
that
the music.
We're all feeling this right now, and
Really
it is
makes me
becoming
feel
so prevalent. It's almost tangible. It only means
almost
one thing.
real.
We are literally being called home.
Called
and we are
home.
all sitting back and watching this world.
I could watch this girl preach all day.
Fire. People are just being handed over to the
She makes this video all the time, Jack Stone. I know I've played her do this before. This is a new one, but this is what she always does. She's like, it's so bad. It's so evil. I just want to be raptured. I just want it to be over. We're all so evil. So much Satanist. I just love Jesus so much. It's her whole grift. And the incel Christians love it. They love their Christian e-girls.
People are laughing at the blood of Jesus, calling it evil, and that didn't happen until very recently.
Laughing at the magic Jewish
It
blood.
only means one thing. We literally go home so incredibly soon.
Dude, the rapture's coming, guys, real soon. 8,000 likes for Miss Ashley Hayes. Jesus Christ is my Lord and Savior. Mizrachi on Ted Cruz.
Probably going to be in a very good... Ted Cruz is probably going to be in a very good place in heaven of Gentiles. But I don't wish anything bad to any other Gentile. They have free will, they can be righteous, they can be wicked, they have heaven, they have hell. They choose their destiny. Like this guy, Ted Cruz. Ted Cruz is probably going to be in a very good place in heaven of Gentiles. Every one of his speeches was pro-Israel, pro-Jewish people, anti-evil people. He has a decent mind, this guy. By the way, always talk to the point. Unlike these Vance and other things around Trump, Tucker and the rest of the fools. One day they're on the right side, the next day they're on the opposite side. Ted Cruz is probably going to be in a very good place in heaven.
Ted Cruz is going to heaven. Look at this. I found some more. Can't even keep up with it. Ben Swan, who had a show on RT. 2 new videos have surfaced proving that Benjamin Netanyahu is not dead. The only problem is that both of these videos are clearly AI as well. But it's not just about the technology, it's about the context. Robert Barnes, the lawyer for Alex Jones, is pushing this shit too. Yeah, you guys know Ben Swan had a show on RT? Coincidence, I'm sure, right? Ryan Matta again. Look at this. This was 2 days ago. We now have a third confirmation that Netanyahu has been eliminated, and the announcement will be made tomorrow. Let's pray this gets our troops home. How did that age? Oh, they're going to confirm it tomorrow? You mean yesterday?
A thing called the Wailing Wall. If you just go over to Google, we just got our third confirmation from a colonel that Netanyahu's dead. And this one's for all my homies out there that are from Iran and any of you guys.
These guys don't know what confirmation and research means.
I don't know. About 99% of Americans and about 99% of the world that doesn't wear a tiny little hat and worship Satan. So,
worship Satan. Again, the cope. Dude, it's Yahweh, dude. If they can't even criticize the God and the actual plan and the root of Jews is Judaism and the Torah, and these guys refuse to criticize it. Instead, they blame the adversary of the Jews. You don't see the problem in that? You're blaming Baal and Satan, the literally enemies of the Jews. Is he a Jew or Arab? I don't know. Some type of mystery meat, maybe.
Said, this location right here. See this photo?
Cuban? Maybe Mexican?
A thing called the Wailing Wall. If you just go over to Google and you type in Israel Wailing Wall, you can pull up the Google Maps and pull up on Google Earth.
Sent $5.
Thank you, Wilhelm.
So much Jonestown grifting these times. Face with peeking eye emoji. Oh well, here's something to keep Mrs. No More News happy.
Yeah, and he's riding the coattails of Ian Carroll and Candace Owens with all the Charlie Kirk stuff. He's
that location, take those GPS coordinates, send them over to the dude with the hypersonics if you could. Whoever's got the control pad and can put those GPS coordinates in the hypersonic missile.
Okay, that's enough. We get the point.
I know what the Catholic Church what the Catholic Church teaches. We are the new Israel. That's what the church teaches. We are the fulfillment of the old Israel. I mean, look at Jesus fulfilled it all on the cross. He got, when he said it is finished, the old was completely done. There is the new covenant now. Those who are in Christ, that is the new people of God.
Jimmy is right, says Richie from Boston played your video on his latest bullshit. Really? What video? He's saying like I'm covering up for AI BB or something? Is that what you're saying?
It is very clear. This isn't even debatable. I don't even know why we're having this debate, which is why Bishop Barron and Cardinal Dolan should be like, yeah, it's what we believe. We are the new Israel.
They would say that. This isn't some like mystery or revelation or something. Yeah, we know. Everybody's heard the talking point that Christians are the true Israel. Need More Amalek says wrong. That doesn't mean that they're not. So the Bible clearly says that the Jews are the natural branches of Israel, though. and that they've been cut off so that the wild branches, the Gentiles, could be grafted in. But in the end, the Jews are going to believe in Jesus and be part of Israel. And Israel, all of Israel will be saved, as it says.
And means nothing anymore. Yes, it's the Holy Land, but that's not some biblical. What are they going to? What's scary, Tucker?
Yeah, it's the Holy Land, but that's not some biblical. Actually, yeah, the Holy Land is definitely a biblical idea.
Is these people like Paula White and Ted Cruz and Dan Patrick, they believe that there will be, the Dome of the Rock will be torn down and they will rebuild that third temple. They're saying it now. Look at Pete Hegseth.
Don't you also believe that that's going to happen and that must happen according to your prophecies? Yes. Well, then you're not really against it.
There will be a rebuilding of this temple.
Oh, I know.
It is heretical and it is anti-Christian.
I know that.
Because they're going to bring in the animal sacrifice.
It's anti-Christian, but it fulfills our Christian prophecies. See the little paradox there?
This is again. And the most anti-Semitic thing that they believe is that 2/3 of the Jews are going to be slaughtered. That's what these people believe. They're just manipulating them and using them. They don't really.
Meanwhile, the rabbis say it's 2/3 of all the world. My girl's newest tweet, let's see. Oh, a tweet from Ashley Hayes. Let's see here. For anyone who agrees with Carrie Bowler, that's the girl we're watching right here. Blonde Miss California. For anyone who agrees with Carrie Bowler on Tucker recently that the church has replaced Israel and the land is meaningless, please take the time to read this. The church is the spiritual seed of Abraham. We share in the promises. We are grafted in. We do not replace. God is not done with Israel. Does this mean I agree with everything that nation does? No, but this is like the normal Christian view. You go into any church, this is what they'll say. But I do know God has a plan for Israel that will be fulfilled. Yes, open your Bible. Amalek, if you want to come on right now, you can come on for a minute because I'm going to cover your thing here too. Where is it? Oh, I thought I had it. There it is. No. Amalek posted that this girl is getting disavowed by the Catholic Church.
Really care.
Oh,
if there's something else you want to add or if I nailed it.
Describes himself as the temple.
Yes.
So
he is the temple.
Well, he says that.
He is the lamb that was slain.
So the problem is with the Jews and their temple is not that they want to have a temple and then rule the world with their Moshiach. That's not the issue. See, the problem is that they can't have the temple because Jesus is the spiritual temple. Now ask yourself, what is Christians crying and kvetching that Jesus is the true Messiah in the spiritual temple? Is that going to do anything to stop the Jews building their temple? If these Christians believing that the Jews building their temple is heretical, but that it needs to happen according to prophecy, are they for stopping it? Do they think they can even stop it if they wanted to? No, well then they're not going to stop it. It's like a built-in mechanism that it's going to inevitably help this proceed according to the plan.
Final sacrifice.
So, yeah.
Here it is. Catholic World Report. Anti-Semitism is a betrayal of Christianity, for Jew hatred is anti-Christian. Nice, Christ-cuck pastors. Look. Okay, what are we going to do next? You know what? I got some more of her, actually. Let's do some more of hers. We haven't hit the goal. I guess we're just going to keep streaming until we hit the goal. Let's see. Synagogue attacker. That's old news now. It was a Muslim, Lebanese, I think, or Palestinian. His family had been bombed. We'll play that in a second. Anti-Semitisms are...
Dan Patrick explain where you were wrong on doctrine?
No.
Did Paula White or Dan Patrick explain where you were wrong on doctrine?
No, they just said, I cannot hold firm to replacement theology, which they don't know, Catholics, it's fulfillment theology. We believe that we are the fulfillment, it's not replace. They like to dig us and say, oh, you believe in replacement theology. No, we're the fulfillment. Christ is the fulfillment of Israel.
Well, that's what.
So has your new fulfillment, this is such a stupid word game, has your fulfilled Christianity replaced the old covenant? Well, yeah. Well, then I guess it is a replace. Why is this not playing?
And Patrick, explain where you were wrong on doctrine?
No, they just said I cannot hold firm to replacement theology, which they don't know, Catholics, it's fulfillment theology. We believe that.
By the way, she's wrong here. The Second Vatican Council, Vatican II, they now say the modern Catholic positions is that God's covenant with the Jewish people is not revoked. They still have a meaningful relationship with God, meaningful. The church does not teach that Jews are rejected or cursed. The church today does say fulfillment, not cancellation. But that the Jews are not, the Pope said they're not abandoned by God. Even Nick Fuentes says their covenant is still valid in some sense. Because Romans 11:29 says their gifts and calling of God are irrevocable.
We are the fulfillment. You know, it's not replaced. They like to dig us and say, oh, you believe in replacement theology. No. We're the fulfillment. Christ is the fulfillment of Israel.
Well, that's what
so
it
we are the
says
new
in
people
the New
of
Testament.
God. Yeah, exactly.
I mean, it says it like on every page.
Yeah.
But they're accusing you of believing in something called replacement theology. For people who don't follow this, and I'm kind of one of them, I don't fully understand what that means. What do they mean by that?
They believe that, so replacement theology,
I'm getting you the link, Amalek, right now.
The church has
opening it
replaced
up.
Israel. So for 2,000 years, that's what all of the early church fathers have taught, that we are the new Israel, we're the spiritual Semites.
Based, we're the true Jews, we're the spiritual Jews, we're the spiritual Semites, we're Israel now, we're the chosen people now, we're grafted into the Jewish covenant now, totally based.
They would literally be rolling in their graves if they thought that we were being told that 1948 Israel is some biblical prophecy fulfillment. I mean, that alone is insane. That they think that this political state of Israel that was created in 48, mostly by atheists.
Can you even, see, blaming atheists, can you even create a state and have it not be political? If you had a bunch of religious rabbis leading the charge, creating a state, would it still not be politics?
Is some biblical prophecy being fulfilled? And I mean, you're aware of Darby and Schofield, and so this is the fruit of that, those rotten.
Is there any other
seeds.
place in America, I mean, in the world rather, where you have a big group of Christians who believe that 1948 Israel is a fulfillment of prophecy?
Yes. Oh, she better not lie and say no, and it's only America. It's 700 million around the world. Believe this. This is the stat I saw. I'll look it up
do you
again.
know, Tucker, that I asked my priest.
Hold on. Did she say no and I missed it?
Prophecy.
No. In fact, do you know?
No. Nobody else around the world thinks this. Wow, she's so wrong. Hold on. I got to get this link over to Amalek real quick.
No, Tucker, that I asked my priest, who I had about 6 priests guiding me before this hearing, spiritually advising me before this hearing, because I wanted to make sure. I need to make sure that I know what I'm saying and that it's actually accurate with what the church teaches. And I'll never forget, he's from Spain. God bless him. He's so sweet. And I said, Father, do you know what Zionism is? He looked at me like I was an alien. And he's like, what's Zionism? I couldn't believe it. I said,
yeah, Tucker never knows about anything. You're right, Jack Stone. He always just goes like, well, I haven't looked at it at all, and I have no idea what it could be, but I think it might be. And he always promotes total kook shit and then just says he doesn't know anything about it. Joe Rogan, too.
You realize in America that these people...
Tom Cruises have sent $10. Why do you leave me off of the Ricky Bobby quote? I'll save you.
Leave you off of the Ricky Bobby quote? I don't know what that means.
Like Paula White, Dan Patrick, Ted Cruz... Most of our politicians in government who have power, who are in the White House praying over the president, they're Zionists. They believe.
Yo, they're all Zionists. I'm glad she could at least admit that. And yeah, you're totally going to change all their mind, Carrie. You're doing a great. That's why you just got booted from the committee. What's up, dude? What am I missing here? What do you want to add in?
So, well, there's the statement that I had tweeted the other day. So the church tweeted out this like really long statement condemning her specifically, and in it they basically make all these arguments in text, right? And what's so funny is she's responding to that. She wrote a response to that today, basically saying, "Oh, I don't have to. The bishops aren't infallible. I only listen to the Pope," basically, and like thanking the people who wrote the article. Which is very funny. But one of the things that these people don't understand is they're all saying, oh, it's dispensationalism this or it's dispensationalism that. What they have to understand is that because of Romans and other books as well, but it's really clear in Romans, specifically 9 through 11, it's very clear that Christians, the relationship between Christians and Jews as described by Paul, is one where the Jews are seen as the elder brother. There's no way around this. There's absolutely no way around this. This is how Christianity sees itself, in opposition to or in difference of Judaism. This is like the major thing, that they believe that they might have rejected Christ and we might disagree with them on the Gospels, but for the sake of what's the exact quote? Sake of the patriarchs, I think is the line.
Yeah, loved on account of the patriarchs and irrevocable blessings.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and it says that their covenant was everlasting too. So the new covenant is for the Gentiles. Doesn't mean that the old covenant is over. That's the way they see it,
exactly.
Right?
Well, that's what I was just gonna say. Is you have to understand how important it is. The idea that like God doesn't break His promises, He doesn't break His covenants. Okay, so the idea that He would break or change the covenant and then do like a new covenant and just like break the old one, it doesn't make internal sense in the text. So what ends up happening is whenever these replacement theologists go to and debate replacement theologists, whenever these two clash, the people who believe that there's like that they still have a covenant, right? Those people, they always were going to win the debate. They have way, way, way better arguments and way more evidence. And the other side is like quite literally like cherry picking very scant evidence throughout the Bible to make their claims. So they're just always going to lose. They can't beat me in a debate. They're never going to beat their churches.
Doesn't Romans 9 or 11 say, Paul says, has God abandoned His people? Exactly. And he says, God forbid. No, he says.
And he says, for if he abandoned His people, then how would He treat the Gentiles when they were abandoning God, when they turned away from God? Yeah, that's his argument. And
check out Nick.
Well, hold on. So
yeah, go ahead.
What's important that people have to understand is that, in that passage, it does refer to Israel. And these guys will say, no, these people online, they keep saying, no, Israel's the new church. No. Go read that verse exactly. Paul is specifically saying, yes, we're the new church, but he's specifically calling out the ethnic Israel. So when he's talking about those passages in Romans 9 through 11, he is speaking about the ethnic Israel, the Jewish people, okay? He is not talking about the church, because what these guys like to do is they like to pretend that those lines are about the church. Well, it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense in that context at all. And the churches do not read it that way either. It's perfectly clear.
Yeah, the cope we'll see online from the CI guys, or Joel Webben the other day, they go, was Christ an Israelite? Yes. Was he a Hebrew? Yes. He was not a Judahite, although he's the seed of David, who is the king of Judah, so he is genetically from Judah. But Paul says, did God reject His people, meaning the Jews? By no means. I am an Israelite myself. So Paul is calling the Jews that don't believe in Jesus Israelites still. So much for the secret Edom theories, right? Do not consider yourself superior to those other branches if you do. And also, she just said all of the big Christians in America. And how about her lying about Christian Zionists only being in America?
Oh yeah, it's worldwide. It's a worldwide phenomenon. Basically, they all believe in some version of I mean, this is a very old tradition that goes back to the very earliest layers in Revelation and all these other things. This concept of a giant war between the West and East, and that causing the end times. This has been the main lens that people have viewed politics and geopolitics in Europe and in the Christian world for basically 2,000 years, since the very earliest versions of Christians. They thought that there was going to be a giant war between Rome and Persia, and that in that war, after the war, there was going to be an establishment of a millennial kingdom. Is like one version of the Lord. There's all these.
Can you not hear that?
They all believe that.
Can you not hear when the power chat goes through?
No, I didn't hear it.
Okay.
Sorry. I can usually see it. I'll pay attention. Sorry.
Okay. No worries. I thought you should be able to hear that. I don't know why it's not playing for you.
I just got to turn my headset up a little bit and I'll be able to hear
Okay. So Romans 11, as far as the gospel is concerned, they, the Jews, are enemies for your sake. But as far as election is concerned, they are loved on account of the patriarchs. So limited hangouts, superficial enemies, but still loved in.
Well, it's also clear it's talking about ethnic Israel here. This is not talking about the church. Like, absolutely not. You cannot make the argument that this here is talking about the church. That wouldn't make sense at all.
Mm-hmm. For God's gifts and his call are irrevocable.
And it says it in Romans, or in it's chapter 10, verse 14. Israel rejects the gospel. That whole thing. It's explaining that he's talking about the people who are rejecting the gospel, who are ethnically Jewish. That's who he's talking about in Romans 9 through 11.
Mm-hmm.
There's no way of getting around this, guys. So what happens is these e-crusaders and let's just say more advanced e-crusaders, replacement theologists who actually know the material, they have to deal with this material. They have to deal with this debate, and the only way that they can argue it is they go to, oh, well, what about Galatians, or what about John, or what about Corinthians, and they bring up all these other points. They can't answer the question on who do the material blessings in Romans 9 through 11 go to, and why are they going to them? They can't answer that central question, which the answer is to the ethnic Jews, who in this case is ethnic Christians, is what he's talking about in the passage. And it's why? It's because through their rejection, you got the gospel. So it's thanking them for the salvation that they gave you. That's why. So really the point I like to make is it's no wonder that in a battle between Jews and Islam, that Christians side with their elder brother, the Jews, over the Muslims, when this type of thing is baked into the Bible. It's basically like philo-Semitism baked in. There's no way of getting around this. And Islam has their own version of this, by the way. But really, this is not, like, you can't get away from this, basically. In every conflict, basically, Christians are set up to take the Jewish side because of this, except for when it's Christians and Jews, and then they do the whole thing that everyone's familiar with. But when it's Jews versus other people, it's set up, so this is what happens.
Listen to Nick.
You know, as Catholics, we believe Jews are going to be around until the end of time. And so I'm not out for, and of course they still have the original covenant with God that is still valid in some sense. You know, as Catholics.
Still valid in some sense. Imagine being the world's leading anti-Semite and validating Jewish covenants. Unbelievable.
Forget about it.
All right, so the U.S. Bishop's directive for pastors attacks Carrie. So the Catholic bishops are disavowing her?
Oh, yeah.
Saying she's wrong?
Yeah, and they're not only that, 'cause for all the reasons that I've always laid out, but they're hitting her harder than they've ever hit Nick, which is kind of interesting, right?
Well, she's getting more attention on this topic because she was on the committee hearing that went viral.
For sure.
Okay, I think we got some more from her. Let's do some more.
That 1948 Israel is a biblical prophecy fulfillment. He looked at me like I was crazy.
The point is not like, is it real prophecy fulfillment? The point is they're following the prophecies. That should be the issue. Not, guys, is this really real? It's not real. Jesus is the temple. We're the Israel now, so this can't be real. It's satanic. It's Antichrist, blah, 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 whatever. It's missing the whole point in pantomiming. They're pantomiming with the Jews, LARPing along with this prophecy.
He said, nobody's ever taught that. I said, I know. And now they're forcing it on me, a Catholic, on this commission. Yeah, it's really scary.
Well, and especially since we just, wound up in a war thanks to this. I mean, it's hard not to see this as all preparation for this war, which is resetting the world.
And they had to get rid of the only dissenter of Zionism. They had to get rid of her on this commission before the war. It was within weeks.
Yeah, if you were on the commission, they'd never be able to do the war. Had to get rid of you. Yeah, they would.
It's funny.
She almost stopped the war.
She's insane. She's totally delusional. Did you watch the whole thing or just the clips?
No, just the clips.
The whole thing.
That's funny. That's a good one. Converted from Zionist to Catholic last year because she watched Candace Owens. Couldn't make it up.
That's her response that I retweeted there too, by the way. It's pathetic.
Let's see. We have more from her. Is this the one we just watched? Yeah, We Are the New Israel.
What is anti-Semitism? Well, we have to define the terms. What is anti-Semitism? So I quoted IHRA definition. I said, if by saying the Jews killed Jesus, that is, according to IHRA, definition of anti-Semitism. So one of the pastors who was testifying, I said, does it concern you? Does it concern you?
They're lying about this. That's not what the language says. I'm going to pull it up in a second here. It's not saying...
And that's not what she was saying in the meeting either. What she's saying in the meeting clearly is that there's no biblical justification or legitimacy to Israel and that you cannot be a Catholic and be Zionist. Those are the two claims she made. Both of those are false. It's like 1/3 or 50%, somewhere in there, of Catholics are Zionists. Most Catholics don't care. That's actually the position of most Catholics. But I can actually, I have a graph for this too. I can post too. But yeah, this idea that you can't be Catholic and a Zionist, that's what they're attacking her for, because it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Find the terms. What is anti-Semitism? So I quoted IHRA definition. I said, if by saying the Jews killed Jesus, that is, according to IHRA, definition of anti-Semitism. So one of the pastors who was testifying, I said, does it concern you? Does it concern you as a pastor that certain parts of the Bible are going to be considered hate speech?
The Christian parts.
Yeah.
The Christian parts is going to be anti-Semitism. Okay, look at this.
Meanwhile, the guy who passed this, remember, he's specifically the guy who made this is a Catholic. The guy who put this bill forward is a Catholic. And Michael Tracy asked him, "Is this going to ban any parts of the Bible?" Yep. And he specifically shows, and you can go and view the law yourself. Go view the bill yourself, and it has a whole First Amendment religious cutout that specifically says that this part will not ban the Bible and all these other things. It's not to ban religion or anything like that, in the way that these guys are pretending it is. Like, oh, they're going to censor the Bible. What it is it's them trying to say that if you blame Jews today for killing Jesus, that they're including that in the IHRA definition, which I also don't like that, by the way. I also think that that's not cool.
Okay,
but that's what's really going on.
Congressman Mike Lawler of New York, so let's go to him. So I wanted to ask you a couple questions about a forthcoming Trump administration and Israel policy. You spent a lot of time on that. Also, initiatives that you've tried to advocate in Congress. What's your general synopsis of that?
Executive order for Civil Rights Act. I absolutely expect that he did what other presidents.
Enforcement framework. Do you ever want? There's been some controversy among other conservatives on that. There was famously a claim that it could have criminalized citing the Bible. I'm not endorsing that, but there was some controversy. Do you ever question the validity of some of the statistics that are used to tabulate anti-Semitic incidents? Like sometimes it could have criminalized. There's been some controversy among your legislation that would have required the adoption of the IHRA definition within the civil rights enforcement framework. Do you ever want? There's been some controversy among.
Did I miss it?
Volumes, obviously.
Your legislation that would have required the adoption of the IHRA definition within the civil rights enforcement framework. Do you ever want? There's been some controversy among other conservatives on that. There was famously a claim that it could have criminalized citing the Bible. I'm not endorsing that, but there was some controversy. Do you ever question the validity of some of the statistics that are used to tabulate?
On Rumble. Blaming Jews for killing Jesus today is dumb and muddies the water for real criticism.
And that's what the definition actually says. It says people that are blaming Jews today, all Jews, calling them Christ killers today, is considered anti-Semitic. Not you're banning the Bible and you can't say that the Jews killed Jesus in the Bible. That's not what it says. And to act like you can't tell the difference between those two things and to make this be your only hang-up issue and all the central focus is going to help them pass this IHRA bill.
Anti-Semitic incidents, like sometimes
you got it?
Yeah,
I think this is the part. I think this is the part.
I was just
though.
gonna say you're about to hit it
ambiguous,
soon,
or the criteria, especially for the ADL, comes under scrutiny. Is there is it empirically unassailable that there's been this massive surge? Is there any open room for debate or questioning as to whether those statistics are sound?
Well, first of all, on the issue of the Anti-Semitism Awareness Act, it does not ban the Bible. It does not criminalize Christianity. I'm a practicing Catholic, okay? I would not put forth legislation that would do that. It obviously has First Amendment protections, both in terms of speech and the right to practice one's religion. But with respect to stats of anti-Semitism...
Okay, that was it. And here is the, yeah.
I was just gonna say the second thing I sent you is a chart that shows you how much they support Israel. Catholics do. Mm-hmm. It's not as much as the others, but they're mostly indifferent. Okay, so this idea that you can't be Catholic and be a Zionist while they're having those bills being passed. Like that's obviously a Catholic guy, and they're doing all of the other Zionist things that other Zionists do. So she's just totally wrong. Like she's totally lying. That's not the doctrine.
Accusing Jew. Oh wait, hold on. It's this one. Using the symbols and images associated with classic anti-Semitism, claims of Jews killing Jesus or blood libel to characterize Israel or Israelis. So to say Jews are Christ killers today. Are you going to say that's not anti-Semitic? Is it pro-Jewish? Is it pro-Jewish to blame a Jew today for killing God? I don't think so. But they go, oh, they want to ban the Bible, and we're not allowed to say what the Bible says. No, they're not saying that. Are they going to ban the Talmud too? The Talmud takes full credit for the death of Jesus. Are they going to ban that also? That's a good comeback, huh? Clearly not.
Yeah. Well, the idea that they're banning the Bible at all, it's the exact opposite. They want the religiosity to increase, guys. They know that religiosity is directly correlated to more Zionism. They're afraid and terrified of the removal of religion. They want a revival. That's actually so like basically the problem here isn't just that they're wrong, on the facts. They don't understand like Jews or Judaism as a system itself. They just don't understand what's going on. They can't even like observe reality and understand what's actually happening if they think that that's what's within the tool. Like that's within possibility what Jews are going to do is ban the Bible.
That's as if that's the goal. Yeah.
Yeah. It's just you're totally missing what they are, or who they, what their goals are and what they're doing and how they view Christianity. It's like missing the whole thing.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And he goes, "Well, the Jews did kill Jesus." And I said, "Do you realize you're making an anti-Semitic statement right now, Mr. Pastor?"
By the way, there's no way he said that. The pastor did not say the Jews did kill Jesus, by the way. I texted you and I said, dude, she lies through this thing, like very casual and obvious lies when she's like recounting conversations through this entire interview. She's constantly doing this with every conversation she recalls. She does what she just did, where she's obviously lying about what the person said.
Well, the Bible does say they do it and does portray them as doing it, but also with the Romans, of course.
For sure.
But still. And also, she wouldn't say the Jews, like all of them did it. All of them are responsible for a couple Pharisees saying, give us Barabbas, right? That's what we're supposed to believe. That's ridiculous. Collective guilt because a couple Jews. And then collective guilt 2,000 years later, clearly that's what they're saying is going to be classified as anti-Semitic. And then they're playing stupid like, oh, it bans the Bible.
This is the cognitive dissonance that these people have. They don't even know an IHRA is a pretty broad definition across most states. So it's pretty serious. And so I was starting to think, okay, so is equating criticism of Israel.
I agree.
Being a Jew hater? So I said, is anti-Zionism anti-Semitism? Because I'm not a Zionist.
But you just worship the God of Zion.
Okay. Marjorie Taylor Greene is holding up the Anti-Semitism Awareness Act because she wants to be able to say the Jews killed Jesus.
See how this is going to be used to pass this bill?
$5 on Rumble. Creed says suffered and died under Pontius Pilate, not the Jews.
Yeah, Nicene and Apostolic Creed say it was under Pilate.
Well,
you're right.
This is the problem. This
and
is
no
actually
mention of
underlying-
Jews, actually. Yeah.
The underlying problem is this. I do think that essentially the earliest layers of the church and the gospels are like, they're not what I would, quote unquote anti-Semitic. But I do think that that John and some of the later parts, that essentially they're the people who are writing those, the people who are claiming they're Paul and all these other things, I do think that they're basically like in an inter-Jewish polemic against like a Jewish faction, if that makes sense, of Jewish Christians. And that's where a lot of this, what you could call like anti-Semitic rhetoric, is about, calling them satanic and of the devil and things like that. That is what it is. So for them, it's confusing because they see it as like a legitimate collection of the Word of God that's infallible. They can't look at the text in that critical way and see that, oh, actually the traditional view of Christians, how they viewed Jews, it actually changes through the different parts of the New Testament because the time period and the people who wrote them were also different. You know what I mean? It was many Christianities, and like the way that they talked about Jews was different, and it was within Judaism is the better way to understand it. But none of these guys understand that.
It has nothing to do with someone's right to exist as a human being. Of course, everybody has a right to exist by God, but anti-Zionism is anti-Semitic. And I pressed him and I said, yes or no on the record. And he said, yes. And I was shocked. I was so disappointed that all the...
Okay, this is also her problem. I don't know if it's too complicated or too nuanced for her, but... Oh, shit, here we go. Thank you, Revolver.
7 cent $5. It's funny watching Christians use Christ as king as an obvious blanket Jews then cry about being persecuted.
Right, same thing.
Spiritual Jews lying just like their root.
Yeah, they'll be like, the Jews killed Jesus, and Jesus told the Jews were Satanists, but then they go, well, if you blame them for killing God, then it's anti-Semitic. Oh, how could you say that? It's so retarded. But anyway, the difference, what she just mentioned there, it's one thing to be, as a Christian, to be and not a Zionist, but as in like you think the church is the new Israel, Jesus is the temple, and that there's no prophecies about a return to the homeland. There's that there's that as a not a Zionist, but then there's anti-Zionist as a Christian, where you say that's satanic, that's demonic, that's the Antichrist, that's evil, it's not allowed. Like those are two different positions, and she's blurring those Mott and Bailey style.
And I was shocked. I was so disappointed that all the commissioners with big titles, big degrees, they didn't chime in and say, wait a second, a political
By the way,
ideology.
she explains the story of how she got picked for this, and she's totally unqualified, and she admits that, and she says that she was unqualified like a dozen times.
Yeah.
Storm 9 cent $5.
Clearly.
Pilate killed Jesus and flew his plane back to Rome because the Bible fiction.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. Trump appointed her for that too, just because she's pretty and
I think part
supported
of it's
him.
because she's pretty and she's always supported him basically through a lot of his rough times. She's been supported. So to him, I think, and to the administration, this is kind of a way of like, okay, here, we'll give her something to do. And the way she describes the whole like selection thing, the selection story, is that the reason that she had to be on there was because she's been canceled before. That's how she frames it. That because I was canceled back when I was a Miss America pageant, and because I said I didn't like gay marriage, I was canceled. So the reason I'm up on that stage or up on the thing, what makes me qualified is that none of them have been canceled like me. So she came at it from that like victim lens, right? Like she basically came understanding herself like, the reason I'm here is to be the victim, and I'm walking into the victim zone, and now we're doing the victim committee where I'm the victim. Like that was the whole point of the whole thing from the beginning for her. That's how she viewed why she was qualified, was because she was victimized by cancellation. So ridiculous.
Because she said marriage is between a man and a woman on the pageant stage, but then she's like she got fired because of it. But apparently, I looked into that. She got fired because she wasn't doing her responsibilities and because she got caught with like having nude videos or something.
I was just going to say that. Exactly. So she says, oh, I got canceled because of what I said. No, you got canceled because of those things that you just listed. So she's doing the same thing now. She got canceled because she's there to represent the Catholic point of view. She's not there to represent the victim point of view, the I got canceled point of view. She wasn't there to represent that. She was there to represent the Catholic point of view. And they picked her because they're trying to give her like a throwaway assignment that doesn't actually mean anything. And oh yeah, she's Catholic. She can represent some Catholics. Here, we'll have her talk to some Catholic priests before too. And
Garrett sent $5.
It's so dumb.
Revelation passages Christ tard cite about them being fake Jews are just about one group of Jews saying another group is not Jewing correctly. Not about ethnic non-Jews pretending to be ethnic Jews.
Possibly, yeah. That's one of the possibilities. Maybe the most likely one. I just said that to Amalek today, actually.
Yeah, we were just
talking about that. Yeah.
A little frauds.
That's what I'm disappointed in.
Well, the definition is inherently an attack on Christianity.
Yeah.
That, I mean, by definition, if you write a definition that would ban the New Testament, then it's an anti-Christian document, but I guess it's been adopted by various states.
Yeah.
Dude, how can these guys not tell the difference between the Bible says that a couple Pharisees called for the death of Jesus with the Romans in the Bible 2,000 years ago and calling Jews today Christ killers? How can they? Dude, they're so bad faith about this. And them being bad faith and making this be the central issue surrounding the anti-Semitism definition, it's not going to stop it. They're going to get this passed through because they're making this the issue and the hang-up. Watch.
Well, they're doing it in a smart way. They're getting the states to all pick it up first. So at some point, it's just going to become like you're one of the states that doesn't have it already, or they're going to be able to federally mandate it. And then from there, it's very easy to expand. And they're going to be able to completely walk into the end zone with no trouble on this one, I think. I think this is basically already, federally passed at this point. I don't think there's any way of stopping it I just don't, because of what they're doing. Because basically everyone's essentially coming to the conclusion like, oh, maybe there is something with the Jews or the Zionists or however they're thinking about it. And then what happens is they look into it and they see it's this bullshit. Oh, they're mad about killing Jesus and and they end up siding with the other side. They think it's all bullshit. Basically, they think that if you're a right-wing anti-Zionist, then you think that Jews killed Jesus and that they should be punished for that today, instead of legitimate critique, secular critique.
That's the scary in this state right now, in Florida, right now. That's what's scary. I never thought
because the Christians passed the law in Florida.
Yeah.
Right.
Or Randy Fine, I think, might have done that, and he's Jewish. Oh, no, you're right. It was DeSantis. DeSantis, yeah.
Yeah, it was DeSantis that signed into law. Maybe Randy Fine and those Jewish groups probably had a hand in crafting it and getting it passed and all these other things. But they do so at the behest of their Christian friends, guys. Like, there's just no way around that. And it's not just dispensationalists. It's Catholics and all the other versions of Christianity are doing the exact same thing.
People that live in Florida, but this is where it's going. It's very dangerous. And I was the only Christian that was willing, the youngest person in that room. Oh, I'm just a dumb, blonde pageant.
Oh, you're so young. You're such a young, dumb blonde.
Who am I? What do I know?
I don't know. You've been a Catholic for a year. Maybe not the greatest expert. Maybe completely unqualified, and Trump just put you on there because you're his beauty pageant girl.
No, it's common sense.
When Trump was accused of the sexual assault and all those things, she came out and was like, absolutely not. He absolutely didn't. Like, she really freaked out and defended him. It's kind of funny.
Yeah.
I went back and found some of the clips, and she like puts on this like overly exaggerated pearl clutching tone with everything. It's kind of funny. She's gotten kind of good at it, to be honest. People are falling for this.
Wait a second. You're saying that if I don't believe that 1948 Israel, and I said this, people can verify, I don't believe as a Catholic that 1948, the modern state of Israel, has any biblical fulfillment, prophecy at all, meaning at all. I don't believe that, and I have every right not to believe that. I don't believe
literally
that.
not the argument at all.
Why are you forcing me to believe that? Shut up, you anti-Semite. That's what I got back. You're a hateful bigot if you don't believe that. I was disobedient to them. And that's all I was doing was asking questions. And the law.
Hey, guess she acts like she's so. Hold on.
Thunderstorm 9 sent $5 on Rumble. This woman can really F up easy jobs.
Yeah. It's like almost like they put her on here just to be the heel and just to have the controlled op look retarded. But how stupid is it? Hey, lady, you're not special. Guess who else doesn't think Israel is fulfilled prophecy? Us. We don't believe in any of these stupid prophecies. Who does believe it? The Jews. Why did they want to return to the land? Because of the prophecies and because of the scripture. She's like, but I don't believe it, so they call me anti-Semitic. So what about is every... She doesn't just say she doesn't believe it. Also, she says it's satanic. Christians don't want there to be a third temple and the state of Israel because it makes it look like their religion might not be true. Hey, you can't have a temple because Jesus is the spiritual temple. You're supposed to be fulfilled. Stop that. But then cry when they say it's anti-Jewish if they can't do the Jew shit they want to do.
A lot of their views were when the state was founded that they were going to lose that war and that they weren't going to be able to actually found the state. A lot of Catholics and a lot of type of people that had this theology were saying that, oh, God will stop them. So when they got the state, it's just basically been now since then, since 48, just complete, like, it's been copes and copes and copes. I said this to you earlier about this book. It's called When Prophecy Fails. It's by a leftist, and it's like it's interesting. You guys should, if you haven't read that book, you guys should check it out. And it talks about how every time one of these like prophecy cults fails, how they cope about it. And that's basically what we're dealing with. It's essentially a group of people who are just coping and coping and coping about failed prophecy of Jesus returning when Jews were going to come back to the land. Now they've just goalposts moved it to the temple being rebuilt.
Yeah. They do the same thing now too.
Yeah, nothing's gonna happen. When the temple gets rebuilt, no Jesus is gonna come down and stop it. And you know what I mean? Like that's not actually gonna happen either. So they're just gonna have to keep coping and they're gonna move the goalpost again. So
and people will say, I hear Christians all the time, they go, don't worry about the third temple. That's not going to happen. When Julian tried to do that, fireballs came up from the ground and God stopped it. So don't worry, everybody calm down. It's not going to happen because the Jews are wrong about their prophecies. The Christian prophecies are the right ones. So don't worry about all of that. God's in control. Trust the plan. That's what it turns into.
Yeah, and that's all a later story too. The Julian death story and the whole all that temple stuff. Essentially, they're writing. It's in writing about the construction that the construction fell apart and a fire happened. Okay, so people then take like a later mythos and they take those passages and they expand upon them with the fireballs and all those other things. All that mystical, magical stuff is later attribution to Julian's failed temple rebuilding.
So some Jews clearly want to rebuild the temple. They've been working toward it for a long time. They're not going to stop. They're obsessed with it. And then the opposition is led, and all they're saying is, well, you're not the real Israel, though. That's going to do nothing to stop it. Or they'll say, don't worry about it, guys. They can try, but God will stop them. Fireballs will come up from the earth. And neither of those things is going to happen. So there's actually no real resistance to it at all. And they need it to happen for Jesus to return. So there's really no resistance.
Logical conclusion of what they were saying is yes, anti-Zionism is anti-Semitism.
They're neutral at best.
And I quoted the rabbi who didn't get to come, that was denied. I quoted him. And he's been speaking out about Zionism for 40 years.
Wait, hold on. She quoted the Nutra Karta rabbi that says Zionism is not Judaism, so they're just sweeping extra hard. Hold on.
He's been speaking out about Zionism who didn't get to come, that was denied. I quoted him. And he's been speaking out about Zionism for 4 years. Yes, anti-Zionism is anti-Semitism. And I quoted the rabbi who didn't get to come, that was denied. I quoted him. And he's been speaking out about Zionism for 40 years. He said, so are you calling me, a Jewish rabbi, an anti-Semite now? Is that where we're going with this? So a Jewish rabbi is an anti-Semite now, according to their
By the way,
definition.
he was denied because he wanted to represent all of Judaism, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
He wanted to be like the representative for Judaism. His sect of Judaism that represents less than 1% of all religious Jews.
They'll point to the 1% of rabbis and say, look, Judaism's not Zionism because 1 out of 100 of rabbis disagrees. It's so ridiculous, so bad.
And well, and the whole argument is it's just like an ordering. You know, a lot of the Abrahamics, like they're it's funny. The more I learn about their different eschatologies and things like that, and like what their actual beliefs are, it's so funny to see. They don't actually believe in something different. It's a lot of them just believe in a different order. And in this case, that's what's going on. It's just that these Jews believe that there shouldn't be a state of Israel until Mashiach comes. But they believe in all of the heads will bow and all the knees will bow and everyone will be, you know, have their baby smashed head, everything, all of the fucked up end time shit. They just think that the state comes after. So it doesn't matter.
Liberty Commission.
And videos.
Oh my God, nude pictures and videos. Wow. I'm definitely never going to click on that. That looks like a shady site. Nobody click on that.
Hearing from the president, and nobody chimed in and said, wait a second, I have a problem with that. That's dangerous. Let's not
because they all
say that.
Oh my God.
They don't have a problem with it because that's not what they think.
That's literally
So
the
a Jewish
purpose of the
rabbi is being
administration.
called an anti-Semite.
Yeah.
And then I said, I'm a Catholic. I don't believe 1948 political state of Israel has any biblical prophecy fulfillment meaning at all. So does that make me an anti-Semite? Are all Catholics anti-Semites, according to you? And essentially it was yes.
Oh my God.
No, they said Catholics don't believe that. They didn't say yes. They said no. Vatican II says the opposite of that. She's lying. What a liar.
And Catholicism teaches that matters of eschatology are not schismatic, right? So they actually have inner debate on this type of situation. So it's not even like, you know what I'm saying? Like, this is retarded. Like her whole idea that like, Catholics can't believe in prophecy. Actually, that's not true. That you can be a Catholic and believe that, you know, Jesus is going to come back when the temple's rebuilt and all these other, you know what I mean? Like, you could totally believe that. It's not schismatic.
They do. Plenty of Catholics do say, "Oh, this is all satanic," and they're going to do the Antichrist in the third temple.
100%.
They all say it.
Is almost unbelievable. I'm so glad that you forced this, and I'm so glad that you revealed these people for who they really are. This isn't a minor doctrinal point. This is like the very center of the question of religious liberty.
Yes.
If you're not allowed to believe that, then you don't have religious liberty. Then the First Amendment isn't.
Why are they making this a religious liberty issue too? It's like, so because I'm not a religious, I'm not allowed to say I don't believe Israel's fulfilled prophecy. Religious liberty. So if the Jews think that we're all subhuman, you know, evil Sitra Achra souls, and that we all need to be enslaved and be their 2,800 Goyim slaves, and
use Messianic apocalyptic Judaism to incite apocalyptic wars between the East and West for basically 2,000 years, over and over and over and over again.
It's their religious liberty, though, so you can't criticize it, right?
Well, you have to let them you have to let them like promote Gog and Magog. Like, they should be able to promote that. Like, what? That's just like their religion, bro. They love Gog and Magog.
Real, and it also, this is an attack on traditional Christianity, so it has to be defended by Christian leaders. I think the right to believe what you say you believe, which is not hateful, of course, in the slightest.
No.
It is inconvenient if you want to use American troops to fight Israel's wars. Troops to fight Israel's wars, of course, in the slightest.
No.
It is inconvenient. You say you believe, which is not hateful, of course, in the slightest.
No.
Is it not hateful to say that Jews killed God and are cursed, and that them trying to do their prophecies is demonic and antichrist and satanic? You don't hate Satan in the Antichrist? I don't see this working. We don't hate, we just blame them for killing God, but it's not hate.
It's the most. It's like such a. It's like the whole position is a Mott and Bailey, like the whole thing, right? So it's just not going to ever work. It's not going to effectively work. The position should just be that none of the prophecies are true. You don't get to say like, "Oh, God told us so," and justify everything you're doing based on that. And you're not allowed to like utilize that. You're not allowed to utilize the religious prophecies to control politicians. Like the politicians should be subservient to the state, not the other way around. To the church.
What's scary, Tucker, is these people like. What's scary, Tucker? What's scary, Tucker, is these people like Paula White and Ted Cruz and Dan Patrick, they believe that the Dome of the Rock will be torn down and they will rebuild that
goes
third
into
temple.
Paula
They're
White
saying
really
it now.
hard
Look
in
at Pete Hegseth. There will be
It's not letting me pause, sorry.
temple. It is heretical and it is anti-Christian.
I know that.
Because they're going to bring in the animal sacrifices again. And the most anti-Semitic thing that they believe is that 2/3 of the Jews are going to be slaughtered. They're just manipulating
we heard this
them and
already.
using them. They don't really care.
Everything you've
So because you believe Jesus is the final sacrifice, Jews are anti-Christian if they want to still do their sacrifices. We're fighting over are sacrifices legit or not with the Jews.
They might as well just be like doing wizard duels. It's ridiculous.
Here's a Catholic on with PragerU. Let's see this one. I got to run to the bathroom too, so we're going to let this play for a minute.
With regard to this very sensitive topic of the retrieval of anti-Semitic tropes.
Hit that goal.
And the viciousness that has existed, and the anti-Semitism explicitly that has existed within Catholicism, and in particular in traditional circles. Let me first put my credentials on the line here. I am a priest who celebrates both forms of the Mass. I celebrate the Latin Mass on a regular basis in my parish. I am an Orthodox Catholic priest. I believe in all the teachings of the Church, even those that are uncomfortable for me to live from time to time. But that's what the law of God is. It makes us uncomfortable, and that's a good thing. Having said that, there is in the history of Catholicism a tension between the Jewish idea or the Jewish community and the Christian community. It should come as no shock to you that I believe Jesus is the Messiah. It should come as no shock to me that you don't. and that begins a conversation. I mean, how do we resolve this? We either resolve it by fighting with one another, or we resolve it by talking with one another, by dialoguing with one another. From an authoritative view, from the Catholic traditional point of view, a council of the Church has pronounced in its document Nostra Aetate that anti-Semitism is completely unacceptable, that replacement theology is unacceptable, that what we believe is that we are siblings to one another, that Christianity cannot be Christianity without Judaism. It's absurd to think that it could be. In fact, one of the earliest heresies of the Church, the first person to try to canonize the New Testament was a man by the name of Marcion. He was a priest. And he was the first one. This is in the late first, early second century. He began to compile the Gospels and some of the letters from Paul, but he edited them. And what did he edit out of the Gospels and from Paul? All reference to the Jewishness of Jesus. Now, why would he do that? Marcion was what we call a Gnostic. Gnostics.
Thank you, Big Mama.
NMA has the sexiest voice on X. Winking face emoji.
Thanks.
I'm jealous, Big Mama. I got to wrap it up right after this clip, guys. Got to watch the kids. I would like to keep going, but can't.
Believe that the material
We'll be here tomorrow.
is intrinsically evil, and that the only thing that is good is the kind of disembodied world, that there's a demigod and there's the eternal God who is fully spiritual. Christianity, like Judaism before it, rejects that notion. It believes that the world is good, that God made the world, that God
for us
to
live in.
He puts us in the garden, not in a jungle. In a garden, he puts us so that we will tend the garden. We work. The first calling to the human family is a vocation to work, enterprise.
And to enjoy the fruits of the work.
Exactly, to be able to keep the fruits of your labor and to enjoy the fruits of labor and to share the fruits of labor. So Marcion does this, and the Church immediately rejects Marcion's notion because it says, no, wait a minute. The Blessed Mother was Jewish. She was a Jewish mother. Jesus was Jewish.
Pause this real quick.
Wait, hold on. Not according to Jake Shields.
Well,
I got to wrap it, though. So, Jutsu, another 50. Thank you.
Hell yeah. HT was just on Jake Shields, and he's I just watched one of the clips. It's really good. So I'm gonna have to check some of those out. He's talking about, he talked about nailed and stuff like that. But I just want to say something real quick about this whole thing. This isn't like a scholarly, like set in stone. There's actually no way of knowing this for sure, but I think Marcion might have been ethnically Jewish. If you look at who his father is and where that church is, and basically he's from a part of Pontus that had a massive Jewish population. And there's scholars that have noticed that Marcion's redactions and the way he put the scripture together was showed like a really strong knowledge of the Hebrew scriptures. Now, I'm not saying that a Greek couldn't have those things, but I think what we're dealing with is basically like what you would call like a self-hating Jew today, right? Like they say that about what's his name, Finkelstein, and all these other anti-Zionist Jews, and that's basically what Marcion was, I think, back then.
Mm-hmm. All right, well, thanks for hopping on, Amalek. We'll pick up where we left off tomorrow. We got a bunch more to cover still to get caught up. Appreciate everybody for the support. Like, share, subscribe, leave a comment below, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Take care.
See you.